Jesus never came to start a new religion with a different name, but he came, according to John 4:22, to fulfill Judaism.
Now, first of all, look at Christ himself. I mean, he was a Jewish teacher from the Galilee. He wasn't a Palestinian teacher. He was a Jewish teacher with a Jewish name, Yeshua.
Jesus was a Jew. His followers were Jews. His entire community were Jews.
I think that the Jewish Messiah came. His name was Jesus.
Jesus was a Pharisee.
We see people like Adam Green, who I did a debate with, but constantly talking about Christians as Jew worshipers. And certainly we worship Jesus Christ, who was a Jewish man.
When it comes to who is a Jew, well, it's the person who has faith in the ultimate Jew, Christ.
I agree that the Torah is the word of God. I agree that the Jews were God's chosen people. If the Jews followed the Torah, there would be no problem.
You know, the first Christian community was Jewish. The apostles were Jewish. Jesus was Jewish.
The first Christians, who were all Jewish Christians, right? Think about that for just a minute. Mary, Peter, James, John, these are all Jews who accepted Jesus as Messiah. Jesus, although obviously he's the divine Son of God, is also himself a first century what? Jew. He's a rabbi.
The compelling Jesus is the one who fulfills the story of Israel. Any form of anti-Semitism is morally repugnant. Go back to Pius XI, that we're all spiritually Semites, he said, in regard to Christians.
In the early history of the church, many Christians saw themselves as Jews. They saw themselves as a faithful Jew who had recognized the Messiah had come.
You know, if you're born again today, I've been talking to everybody, if you're born, you are Jewish. You are spiritually Jewish. It's the most Jewish thing in the world. I mean, it's this thing called Christianity.
John 4 and verse 22. Jesus himself said, salvation is of the Jews. Meaning, I would not be here, Jesus the Messiah, if it were not for the Jewish race.
Bro. Yo, sorry, tech difficulties there. Adam Green, No More News. Thank you for joining me today. Thursday, March 12th, 2026. We just got started with a fire edit about Jewish Jesus. And we got some breaking news. A car driven into a synagogue in Michigan and active shooter situation. We're going to get into that. We've got terror attacks. We've got Iran news. Trump talking about sleeper cells. Slopmageddon, Singularity, AI Messiah, anti-Semitism conference. Tons of stuff to get into. Amalek is here to go through it. What's up, Amalek?
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Besides dropping the intro there. Pretty good. All right. We're gonna bust through a bunch of this stuff, some of this latest breaking news and clips, and we're going to get the powerchat.live/no more news turned on. That's it, pinned in the live chat on Rumble and Odysee and in the description below. Okay, first story. Car crashes into the synagogue. So they're saying nobody hurt. Apparently, whatever genius did this, they weren't even having school that day or whatever it was. It was at a school or a synagogue. Anyway, there was nobody there. Apparently nobody was hurt. But Amalek, have I not been talking about, especially since this Epstein stuff, all of the incitement and the stochastic terrorism incitement and how it's just imminent and inevitable that there's going to be some synagogue attacked and it's going to be used to reaffirm and double down and strengthen the anti-Semitism agenda. Have I not been saying that every time? And here it is.
We've been saying this forever. Yeah, dude. This is crazy. I mean, it's kind of like inevitable. The fact that it hasn't happened sooner is actually kind of surprising, right? Like you think so, this would be happening more frequently. Wasn't there another one too, just a couple days ago too, like a shooting that was outside, but it ended up being like unrelated to the synagogue or something? I didn't follow back up on that, so I didn't see that. But there was another one a couple days ago, I think too. It was like a shooting outside a synagogue, and then it ended up being not related to the synagogue. But
I wonder what it's going to be. Is it going to be a internet anti-Semite? Is it going to be a white supremacist, neo-Nazi? Is it going to be a Muslim Palestine supporter? Is it going to be Iranian sleeper cell? Place your bets.
at Temple Israel, and they...
I'm surprised we don't know already, actually. Maybe it is. If you guys see any breaking news on who they've identified as the perpetrator, drop the link in the chat.
At Temple Israel, and they say a major scene was reported there. If you're familiar with the area, this is located on Walnut Lake Road. So a live look there thanks to our Fox 2 Detroit helicopter, as we see that there is some smoke there from a building, and that seems to be where the helicopter is concentrating this live look. It's a little hard to tell, but we do see that emergency responders are surrounding this building. According to Fox 2 Detroit, there is a threat underway at Temple Israel there in Michigan. So at Temple Israel, and they...
Okay, there's the first one. Dude, I keep doing this every time. I gotta bookmark all tabs. Hold on. I gotta get these all saved. We'll say sin attack Iran. That'll work there. Okay, next clip. All the breaking news. This is just broke a few minutes ago. We're going to see all the latest coverage.
Temple Israel is the most wonderful place, and it is one of the largest, if not the largest, Reform temple in the United States. And
a Reform temple?
I was going to say, I didn't realize it was Reform. That's interesting.
Yeah. Aptly named to Temple Israel. Like, makes me think Third Temple in Israel.
It's where my children went and were bat mitzvahed and confirmed.
Right. Good point, guys. Good chance that it's a Muslim attack because there's lots of Muslims in Michigan, in Detroit, in surrounding areas, right? So the good point, Troggy Trog.
I think so. Also, the fact that it's like a Reform, like, okay, so like for people that don't know, like Reform is like 35 to 37% of American Jews, but globally that's only like 10% of Jews. And the way Jews view Reform Jews, like conservative or Orthodox Jews view Reform Jews, is like basically like a heretical sect. Like I don't know how else to, like they're disgusted by Reform is like a good way to put it. So if it was so that I think increases the chance that it's a Muslim, right? Because if it was somebody that was like, I don't know, I would say like maybe like a white nationalist, or that was like their motivation, like right wing, I think that they would go, there's a higher chance they'd go after like a conservative or Orthodox one.
Yeah.
And I don't think Muslims
whoever would do something like this is just not smart enough to even decipher the two, probably.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, and if it is one of the right-wing people, it's definitely an E-Crusader, probably.
Yeah. He's like, they're the synagogue of Satan. I did this for Jesus. Watch, he's going to have Christ as king in his bio. No, I bet you it's going to be a Muslim.
I think so, too.
So it looks like they drove the car in through here and all the way through the hall and started a fire down here or something. Look at all the guys running up on them.
Temple Israel is the most wonderful.
Okay, here's some more.
Threat is
and it's an active shooter.
Is that police are responding to a scene in West Bloomfield for an active situation.
Bloomfield.
Sources rather say an active shooter threat is underway at Temple Israel, and they say a major scene was reported there. If you're familiar with the area, this is located on Walnut Lake Road. So a live look there thanks to our Fox 2 Detroit helicopter, as we see that there is some smoke there from a building, and that seems to be where the helicopter is concentrating this live look.
Bloomfield is a
Muslim area?
No, it's a Jewish town. It's known as a Jewish town of 66,000 people with a large Jewish population and Chaldean Christian Iraqis. That's who lives there. There are some Muslim residents, only about 150 though.
Oh, not many.
Hard to tell, but we do.
I mean, but still, surrounding areas.
Right,
somebody could drive 45 minutes.
For sure. I'm just saying that. So it could be somebody that knows, like, oh, this is the Jewish town, kind of like Lakewood and things like that. That's what this is.
That emergency responders
except Reform
surrounding this building, according to.
I don't know. There could be a bunch of Orthodox there too.
A threat underway.
There is. There is. Yeah.
Here's another one.
An active shooter.
From Fox News.
The active shooting incident beginning at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Under 1 hour ago, we are still. This is still being described as an active shooter. situation. An alert has gone out there in Bloomfield, Michigan. The state police is asking for the community members there to stay away from the area to allow the police to respond. Troopers are also increasing patrols at other places of worship in this district. The address
This guy's just the star right now, getting ready. He doesn't even know. Watch, he like scratches his butt, picks his nose.
Oh, yeah. Detroit's only 25 miles from here and 30 miles to Dearborn, so it totally could be that for sure.
But again, the police are on the scene. You're looking live West Bloomfield Township, Michigan. We've got Bill Daly on the phone. Bill, we're just starting to get some early details here, but it appears an active shooter
Guy's getting geared up.
Sadly, at a synagogue there in Michigan.
Yes, Sandra, and certainly by the looks of it, a massive police response. So, went to show whether that shooter is still
the active shooter.
Okay, let's see. I think we got another Fox News coverage here.
This to terrorism. Speaking of which, we're getting an update from the sheriff, Nicole. Brand new info per Oakland County. The sheriff there saying that security at the temple saw the gunman and engaged him at the temple. They are.
I was just gonna ask, like, aren't all these places have private security? So they did engage him apparently.
They said no one confirmed to be.
Yo, Maxed Out Bear, thank you.
Maxed Out Bear sent $10 on Rumble. Thursday support check.
Thursday shekels. Thursday. Let's go for Thor. No confirmed injuries.
No one confirmed to be hurt at this time. Too early to connect this to terrorism, says the sheriff, and we could be getting playback of the sheriff sometime soon here. The suspect is not in custody. So they are right now looking to see if there's more than one suspect, but they are telling people within a mile they should shelter in place. Everyone has been moved out of the school. That is the update from the sheriff there. And
He's been dead, but they're not saying who it was?
That's extremely important right there. They engaged with the alleged shooter.
Yeah. How is this not terrorism? They're like, it's too early to tell if this is terrorism. Like, what do you think it is?
That is.
What else would you call it?
An update from the sheriff, Nicole.
Somebody was just really wanting to pick up their kids or something like that. I gotta understand what the people think it is.
You saw some of the video there from just a short while ago, a massive police presence that we're seeing there in Bloomfield Hills, Detroit. Local police have responded to reports of shots being fired and a car being driven into Temple Israel there in Bloomfield Hills, which also contains a school. Now, this incident prompted Bloomfield Hills schools to go into what is being called secure mode. We can also tell you that an alert was sent out by Farmington Hills.
So many cops.
Which indicated that an active shooter event was
100 cop cars come for one dude?
Hills. Again,
that's probably already dead.
Houses of worship in the area have been advised to shelter in place. Also, we can tell you that police have been telling people to avoid the area. We're also told that police agencies are also responding to other temples in the area to provide security out of an abundance of caution. I'm also just getting in a statement from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office saying that multiple agencies, as you can see there, are now on the scene of Temple Israel. And, this is clearly a very, very grave.
Are all these cars here to respond? Couldn't be.
That they're dealing with
No,
here.
but why would there be so many cars, though, if there was nobody at the synagogue, though, also?
Statement coming in.
Another wannabe convert goy denied entrance. No, the Reform would not deny him entrance.
The Jewish Federation of Detroit saying, quote, we are.
It's going to be a Muslim, dude. I'm almost sure of it. This is spilling over. The war in the Middle East, this holy war of Christians and Muslims and Jews, is spilling over into our streets and our cities now in America, which was, again, inevitable and completely expected.
At Temple Israel, law enforcement are responding. Our Jewish agencies are currently in precautionary lockdown. We ask community.
Okay, is that it? Is that it?
Temple Israel, it's home.
I think we get the point. Nobody's giving us any new details. Let us know, guys, if you see on the timeline who did it. I'm interested to hear who did it. Okay, and look at this. Just yesterday, I saw people sharing this and like, they got false flags planned. FBI says before most mass attacks, attackers often show concerning behaviors Let's watch this FBI propaganda piece.
By notice, research has proven mass shooters don't snap. They are created through a series of unfortunate life events and stressors that can build upon each other. In that process, they show signs we can look for to get them help before tragedy occurs.
See that? Signs you can look for, like this guy that's on the internet, on his phone, social medias.
We can look for to get them help before tragedy occurs. Now we are asking for your help by watching and listening for these signs in your community that are signaling.
Thank you, Edom.
This plays perfectly into a sleeper cell narrative. Not good.
This doesn't seem like an Iranian commando sleeper cell, though. This guy seems like a lone wolf, if anything.
Yeah, they'll probably try to loop it back in. Remember, they tried to do that with the shooter for Trump that was in Pennsylvania, and then the one that was in Florida shortly after. They on Fox News, they like claimed for weeks or months that, I think they probably still do claim that those were Iranian-backed assassination attempts against him. Trump just said it actually the other day in an interview, again with no evidence.
Something is wrong. Being a hero doesn't always involve.
Yo, thank you, Trey. And thanks for all the clips.
LFG Adam and NMA. Alex Jones' voice. It was not a Muslim, it was the demonic aliens and Nephilim working for the globalists. They roll heavy in Bloomfield Hills.
No, it was a Christ Crusader flipping the money tables in the temple to defeat the demons in the synagogue of Satan. It's either that or a Muslim guy, probably. I doubt it's going to be a tranny attack because the Reform Judaism is very friendly to that sort of stuff. So that wouldn't make sense.
Running towards danger. You can be a hero by knowing signs that help us prevent danger.
White guy with a blonde beard.
Around you who are struggling. They may have changed in a way that makes you worried. FBI BAU research.
What is with this B-roll?
Common behaviors to look for. It's the coworker who feels deeply wronged and can't let it go. It's the patient's family member who holds the hospital responsible for their loved one's pain. It's a client who is going through crisis, has withdrawn from treatment, and might be thinking about self-harm. Research shows that someone is much less likely to become a shooter if someone notices.
It's not even talking about terror attacks, really.
Someone. We can all be heroes simply by noticing behavior changes.
Dude, every other reply I see on Twitter and in BitChute comments, it seems like a potential
talk through your concerns with
schizo to go postal.
And make a
I don't know if you have it queued up, but I have I posted that poll from Breaking Points the other that they just did, where they show that 52% of all Americans, not just Republicans and not just Democrats, but all Americans, believe that the reason the Iran war started was so Trump could distract from the Epstein files. Do you understand how crazy that is? That means that half the country is rolling off of basically what's a schizophrenic bullshit narrative. Like that's insane. I mean, so it's not surprising that basically, the entire internet is full of these types of people.
We have a clip of a cartoon of Iranian television saying that. Demons inside of Trump's head telling him to lie about bombing the girls' school. But yeah, I'm going to go out this weekend and go ask questions. That's one of the questions I'm going to ask is, do you think Trump launched this war in Iran to cover up the Epstein and distract away from the Epstein files? We'll see what people say.
Yeah, I think also people are nuts. Like people have like lost it, dude. Like I don't know. It's not good.
Yep. Schizophrenia, manic psychosis, mass psychosis with lots of people. Just in, American-owned oil tanker struck by explosive drone boats near Iraqi waters.
Are you going to cover the Django Ray interview? Jimmy looked suicidal at the end of that convo.
I do have a short clip from. He looked suicidal. I do have a short clip from that.
He was like, "Oh God, it's all over." But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I watched the whole thing last night. I don't think we'll ever understand like the true effects and the downstream effects of COVID. How much it just fucked people up. Like that's what I think a lot of this is people have totally mentally broke from COVID. Still happening.
So one of our tankers is attacked. I'm hearing also now that this is escalating into like energy war too. So we're targeting their energy sites. They're going to target energy sites around their neighbors. Although there was just a statement put out, they're claiming to all their neighbors that they're bombing right now. They're saying they're only attacking the U.S. bases and they're not enemies with all their Muslim neighbors. That was their statement. So this is what it looks like when an oil rig gets bombed, huh? It's like an inferno.
Didn't Trump say the other day, like the oil riggers or the oil rigs need to like man up or have courage or whatever he said? Remember that?
Yeah, they're like, go through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah.
The thing is too is the attack is, the attack is important, I guess. Like this whole thing happening is important. But what really matters in my view here is like the entire shipping industry runs on insurance. I would say it's like an insurance industry really, and all of them are gonna pull. They're all pulling coverage because you're not gonna be able to insure anyone going through the straits. So that'll just stop all trade basically.
People are saying this is another one or the same one, just a different angle of getting hit. Yeah, they're also, Iran's now putting, mines throughout the Strait of Hormuz, right? And it's a thin little strip to get through, so it's very expensive and difficult to sweep for those mines and have it be safe. Here's some of Trump's latest.
We have very good news on the war front. Namely, they are absolutely being destroyed. Iran is being absolutely decimated. That's all I can say.
President Trump, what have you heard about this bulletin that some law enforcement put out about a possible Iran revenge plot in California, where there would be some kind of a boat offshore launching drones towards the
It's being investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. The wars.
All we can do is take him as the gun. That would be so wild if the West Coast got attacked by Iranian drone. So crazy.
I don't think that they could do that.
I didn't think they could.
I don't think
thought
so.
it was out of range.
I think it's way out of range. But I saw all this like news coverage saying like warning, incoming possible attack on the West Coast. I think it's just propaganda to get people to get scared. I don't think it's even possible.
As anybody has ever seen, and this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries, they said they've never seen anything like it. And they also agree with what I'm doing. They say it's an evil country, and it's been for 47 years that way. We have very good news on the war front.
How many times are they going to mention the 47 years? They keep saying it so much. Okay, Trump talks about this, is asked about sleeper cells also. He's waving his hand, so you know it's going to be good.
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border.
Archie sent
So there's a lot here.
TDS now. Break the judo spell. Victor Davis Hanson and Steve Turley are too positive about Trump's accomplishments.
I don't know who those guys are. I don't know who they are, but there's lots of bootlickers, and the People's whole brand is sweeping for Trump and glazing Trump nonstop. So I'm not surprised.
But we know where most of them are.
Dude, gas is going to go up to $10 a gallon, isn't it?
All of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
Oh yeah, I think that's not going to be good.
Through the open border policies.
Well, it's actually, the gas going up is a problem for sure. I wouldn't deny that, but who's getting hit first here is Asia. So like we have very little trading with Israel, I would say, when you compare it to say like Asia, South Korea, Japan, and China. And South Korea and Japan, their oil prices and their gasoline prices are going to get hit first before everybody. They're having like lines and things like that already. People are freaking out there, and the price of oil is going up because so what's going to happen is their prices are going to go up. So it's going to hit our economy like that.
Archie sent $5. Could Iran have submarines off the coasts?
I suppose, but I feel like we have radars and stuff that would find them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country.
So it sounds like they already have their scapegoat for when there's an Iranian sleeper cell attack. They're going to blame Biden and the Democrats.
And we've got our eyes on all of them, but the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty.
We've got our eyes on all of them. That's not going to age well if one of them attacks. It's like, if you have your eyes on them, why wouldn't you take them out immediately? What are you monitoring the sleeper cell, Iranian terrorist sleeper cell situation? That's a weird thing to say.
They always say that too. When most like most Iranians in America are not, or most I've said Muslims in America are not Shia, they're Sunni.
Mm-hmm. Daily Mail, Iran's new supreme leader is quote unquote obsessed with the end of days and believes he has a special part in hastening humanity down that path. As do the Israelis and the rabbis and the Christian Zionists and the anti-Christian Zionists, also obsessed with the end of days.
Yeah, well, there's no faction in this that's not obsessed with the end of days. Like,
Yeah.
can you name a faction that's not? Like, even Teal is obsessed with the end of days. Russia's obsessed with the end of days. Iran, Israel, and America is obsessed with the end of days. Is there Europe, or I guess, are the only ones that aren't obsessed with end of days because they're so secular, I guess. But they're like, vassal state of us at this point in the war.
Yeah, all these different appendages of Abrahamism, obsessed with their end times, marching us towards their script.
There will be a large attack blamed on Iran, and it will lead to martial law and ground invasion of Iran. The Zog planners have a plan to avoid midterm election consequences.
Yeah, a lot of people are speculating some type of attack from Iran, and then that'll justify, I don't know, troops, nukes, whatever else. Trump was advised by Witkoff and Jared. Yeah, Jared has his hands in all of this. Gaza, Iran, Russia negotiations.
He's a
all
true
of it.
Prince of Peace.
Yeah. The headline should be all of the people involved in this war are obsessed with the end of days. Like, you're telling me that the Muslims are, but the rabbis aren't? What are we doing here? Hold on.
Go ahead.
And also, I see this new leader is already in a coma and lost a leg after being seriously injured in airstrikes, report claims. So who knows if it's legit, but yeah, go ahead.
I just
Got
posted.
something for me?
Yeah, you gotta check this out. It'll fit good in here.
You like that?
Yeah, let's see how long you can last on this.
What is it? A Dugan?
No, way better. This is
okay.
what they're doing in Iran. This is how obsessed they are with the end times, guys. This is how it is. If you read the words of this song, you'll see.
Am I gonna have to read it?
No. Oh, you're gonna love this song. I think you're gonna love it.
It's the Freeman from Dune.
That's the beginning of the end times.
This is Iran?
Yeah, this is Iran. Look what they're saying.
Hear the shouts of the world-eating Jews from the throat of the Saudi king. Dude, it reminds me of Avatar. Don't they do this in Avatar around the tree? They're all doing the hands things. That's what it looks like.
Imagine you're in this crowd. I mean, this is disgusting, but imagine like this is like a powerful thing, right? You ever been to a concert? You know what I mean, right? When everyone's moving together and doing the thing and saying that, like, imagine how powerful it is to be in that room. I mean, it's disgusting, but.
Is this auto-tune? He does sound like he's got auto-tune.
Yeah, it's kind of. Look, Wahhabis and Daesh.
Yeah, the great Satan. Dude, these religions are so fucking damaging and dangerous and a threat to the world. I'm so sick of everybody sweeping for all of them.
Yeah, this needs to stop. The whole planet needs to ban this. Like we banned slavery, we need to ban this.
Why doesn't Israel bomb this event? Like, if they're bombing everywhere else, they're bombing girls' schools, but then they missed this one?
Oh, he's gonna go hard soon. Yeah,
Jack Stone says Mossad needs to go Operation Lassine al-Ghaib on the Muslims. Spiritual terrorism. Surrender is gone from their minds.
See, their foreign policy, which countries they're in, is determined by their end time story, guys.
Mm-hmm. Missiles will rain down on our enemies. Their missiles will drop in the heart of Tel Aviv. Now they're going to start playing Bomb Bomb Tel Aviv.
The first Imam.
Okay. From the Kaaba stone. This is yeah, we got Kid Rock. They have this. Dude, they're mogging us with their fucking songs.
How awesome would it be, though, if Kid Rock goes up there and is like, we're going to bring in the Mashiach.
Yeah.
Jesus is coming back. Actually, I kind of would. That would kind of.
My name is Christ Cook. It's Christ Cook, baby. Shia flag will wave from the top of the world. Anyone who follows Ali is our compatriot. Soon, right? Haidar
It's the lion. It's the lion.
Okay.
Haidar is the lion. They're basically trying to summon Haidar when they do this. Sunnis accuse Shia of being magi because of this type of shit. That's what they're calling for. They're trying to like summon Haidar.
Yeah, the first imam, so that they could have the new imam, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's basically their way of calling for Mahdi to come. Yeah, how crazy is that? So
I wonder if that was recent.
I have when it was. I'll check real quick.
Speaking of imams, has anyone checked on these Michigan imams lately? The ones that endorsed Trump and said he's going to stop World War III and Middle Eastern wars? Let's see how this one aged from before the election. These are probably all Mossad agents pretending to be Muslims.
So that was after Khomeini, but before they tried to rapprochement with Saudi Arabia. So they're like pissed that Saudi Arabia is still there. But
yeah.
Good afternoon, Michiganders. As the president said, we just had a
yeah, right, Jack Stone. It's the Muslim version of "We Want Moshiach Now." It's the Christians chant Christ is King, the rabbis chant "We Want Moshiach Now," and the Muslims do that shit.
positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
And look, the 47s everywhere, and he keeps talking about 47 years of Iran. Is that just a coincidence?
We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine. The bloodshed has to stop.
Fell for it again.
All over the world. And I think this man can make that happen. I personally believe...
Wait, did you know what 47 means before you said that?
What do you mean?
I just looked it up. 47 is the value for luck in Jewish gematria. The luck or destiny is what it means. Is what that number means. Mazal, luck, fortune, constellation.
That God saved his life twice for a reason.
God saved his life to end the Middle East wars. How that age?
I believe personally that God has saved his life for a reason, which is to save the lives of others.
I don't know. Maybe they're happy. They could be, who says that they're pro-Iran? They might all be anti-Iran. If they were pro-Iran, I doubt they would have endorsed them before the election. So, so much for ending the Middle Eastern wars.
Sunni hate Shia.
Yeah, I know.
Arabs and
Exactly.
Iranians, they just hate each other. So it's most likely those are Sunni. So it kind of also makes sense, right?
Yep. Here's Trump talking about it's a little trip. We just took a little trip over there, a little excursion.
Time in history, and that number is going to be, wait till you see the numbers by the end of the year. We did an excursion. Do you know what an excursion is? We had to take a little trip to get rid of some evil, very evil people. It should have been done for 47 years. They've been killing our people. 47 years.
47 years, 47 years.
47 years.
You just said it 5 times again. It's never like almost 50 years, right? It's never that. He doesn't round it. It's 47, so specifically.
Thunderstorm 9 sent $5 on.
Thank you, Thunderstorm.
Canaanite desert cults trying to end the world. Who smelled worse, that Iranian public sing-along or Kid Rock?
Oh, definitely that Iranian tent. Kidding me? All the spices.
Say this. They were all prepared. They're very strong. You know, they're going to try and take over the whole Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them. They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They say, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this.
Polls are showing that the MAGA Christian conservative base is most supportive of this war, by the way, unsurprisingly. Israel's delegation appeared at the UN wearing yellow stars and invoking the Holocaust to avoid criticism and portray themselves as victims and justified in the attack on Iran.
Urged
Let's
the
see.
ambassador to wear the Israeli flag instead, saying the act.
You know what? This isn't from Iran. This is old. These bullshitters. I hate when people do this. Voice of Rabbis shared this too. Jews united against Zionism. They would post some old clip. This isn't new.
Disgraced.
Some member states have learned nothing in the past 80 years.
I remember he puts on the badge.
Until you
this is not new. All right. Now, hocus pocus, satanic panic, again being pushed everywhere. It's so kosher. First example, Exhibit A, Catherine Austin Fitts. I thought this was supposed to be some serious, like, financial lady. And look at what she says. She's on Danny Jones talking about who's really at the top of the pyramid, who's running things. And, of course, she goes with the demons. It's actually the shape-shifting interdimensional demons. The Bible demons that we have to worry about.
I think you have intergenerational pools of capital, and right now they are over-influenced by a cult. So I think you have interdimensional intelligence, which is operating, demonic intelligence.
Interdimensional demonic intelligence.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think this thing about good and evil is real. And
so what's good then? If it's demons, what's good? Jesus and Yahweh every single time. These guys. Why is it every big influencer is pushing this demonic psyop?
I can't find it anymore. I found it once. There were in the 30s, a British physicist got up and said, we are being manipulated, but from other dimensions by intelligent beings from other dimensions.
Oh, dude, some guy said it in the 30s, man. What more evidence do you need?
I think, if you study Christianity and you read the Bible, you're dealing with both divine intelligence and demonic intelligence. And I think too much of the leadership has gotten deeply involved in the occult and demonic.
Dude, they're following the Bible. They're Jews and Christians that believe in Yahweh and Moshiach and prophecies. What are we blaming demons for? Dude, they all do it. Even this lady's doing it. This is absurd.
Optics Prime sent $5 on Rumble. I saw the clip of that rally where Trump walked out to the Undertaker's theme. The death of our empire.
Kinds of intelligence.
Yeah, all this does is reinforce Jewish eschatology and the whole Jewish cosmology.
So I just read a book, and I have no idea. So I've tried to find every theory to explain the paranormal stuff. So I'm not telling you this is true, but I just finished reading a book called Final Event by Nick Redfern. I don't know if you've ever read it. And he describes it's a exploration of a group of military intelligence in the United States called the Collins Elite.
Oh yeah, I've heard about the Collins Elite. Yeah,
and they came to believe that the ET phenomena was a demonic phenomena. It was not people from another planet. It was demonic intelligence.
It was biblical stuff.
Right. Right. And one of the things he discovered was that, or the Collins Elite apparently discovered.
Every single big influencer is pushing this now. You realize that? Tucker, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Castronoff, Austin Fitz, David Icke, Jake Shields. We just saw Joel Webbin. Who isn't pushing this? This angels and demons brain rot.
It is in many.
Yeah, every single major platform is pushing it, and the left is even pushing this too, guys. Like if you watch like Kyle Kalinske and these people, they're doing the thing where they're calling them satanic. They're calling them, so these are the people who are like secular, anti-religious, anti-Christian. They're even saying they're like saying things like, "Oh, maybe there is something to Christianity because these people are just evil and satanic." Like, so the left is doing the exact same thing. Jimmy Dore too.
Yeah, it shifts all the focus from real people, real religions, real institutions to some shadowy group that you can never pinpoint, you can never arrest, you can never get out of power. And all you can do is pray to Jesus, and it's God's plan. God wins, right? Have we not gone over this forever?
Sort of ET abduction events. If you called on Jesus Christ, it would stop.
See?
Yeah. That's what he reported. And
dude, just call on the name of Jesus, and the demons leave you alone.
Someone who's
totally serious.
Faithful job of simply reporting what they found.
You know, there's a lot of folks in the intelligence community.
He just had Sam Tripoli on saying the same thing
publicly.
There, Sean Ryan just had on that exorcist guy saying the exact same line. Everywhere, this is the main talking point. This is why I've already gone out twice, 2 weekends in a row, doing Man on the Streets, asking people if they think satanic demons run the world, and all the Christians do.
State how they believe.
Okay, that's enough. Let's do Sneeko now. Sneeko and Myron have been featured in some new Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary on Netflix, which I need to watch. But again, Sneeko's blaming Satanists.
One was the Rothschilds.
Do you think Satanists are running the world?
Absolutely. A year ago, Louis Theroux was fully convinced that I was a crazy conspiracy theorist. That's why they included it, to be like, oh, this is a pipeline to conspiracy, to crazy. And then look, since then, the Epstein files released. Now everybody knows.
What? Where's the Satanism in the Epstein files? Ball bank accounts? That's it? That's the best you got?
Dude, I've had people spamming me saying, because I made a post yesterday talking about Romans 9 through 11 and what it's talking about there. And I have so many people saying, oh, Paul's talking about people who worship or Jews who worship Christ or Jews who worship the Father. He's not talking about Baal worshipers. I have gotten that basically response, maybe like 25% of the time, like maybe 25, 30 responses in one day, just like that. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. They all believe this, and it's based off of that stupid error. Imagine if that didn't happen, by the way. I wonder what what their fallback would have been.
Yeah, and it's like Sneeko. Well, meanwhile, Sneeko will say Judaism's a beautiful religion. The Torah was given to the Jews by God. He promotes Noahidism, Islam. He falls for the Jesus deception. All of the players in this are Muslims, Christians, and Jews. There's no Satanists. This invisible Satanist imaginary enemy, all it does is deflect away from the Abrahamic religions. It's the Abrahamic religion scapegoat.
Knows what this one-eye symbolism is. It's exactly what the Antichrist is going to look like. It's on the back of the $1 bill.
The idea that there's a Satanist cabal who are somehow
There is,
running
and
this.
they want to establish a one-world government.
And who's in it?
Who else wants to establish a one-world government? I don't know. Jews and their Moshiach?
Oh, I don't
Christians
know, maybe
and Jesus? Muslims?
Sunni Muslims who are the flag of the Shia will wave on the world. He wants his own. They have their own version. The flag of the Sunni will wave on the world. They all have their own version of this. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. In the name of fighting this satanic Luciferian globalist New World Order, they're actually just ushering in the Abrahamic Judeo Moshiach prophecy New World Order. That's what it is. He's so full of himself right here too. He's like, "Oh, dude, I crushed this. I killed this. This is gonna go so hard to my third world audience."
Who's in the government right now? I mean, it doesn't really.
Who's in the Satanist cabal?
I mean, I don't know these people there. I think the Rothschilds started.
Is it?
The Rothschilds started the cabal? So the conspiracy doesn't go back to the Torah. It's the Rothschilds. We're going to blame the Rothschilds a few hundred years ago for everything.
And now we know. Epstein said himself he represents the Rothschilds. We just found paperwork that the people that were funding Epstein the most, number one, was the Rothschilds.
What does that have to do with the Rothschilds being satanic cabal? They're just Jews. Rabbis asked them to buy the Temple Mount. Rabbis asked them to help create the state of Israel.
Right. That was his agenda here. Call me a crazy conspiracy theorist. And here I pointed out exactly. The top of that pyramid, the people with the most amount of wealth that control the central bank system, it is the Rothschilds. And Epstein represented them. Don't look so crazy now.
It's not just the Rothschilds
Jewish
either.
Character?
No.
I said that Satan is controlled.
So then he goes, "Are they Jews?" And he says, "No." See this?
Now.
Is it Jewish in character?
No.
I said that Satan is control of the world because there is a difference between Judaism and rabbinical Judaism. Torah Jews, we believe Torah is the word of God, but it's been misinterpreted.
There's no Torah-only Jews, dude. What are you talking about? What is with this mental illness? What did he say?
Torah Jews, we believe
Hold on.
Satan is control of the world because there is a difference between Judaism and rabbinical Judaism.
$5 on Rumble. Only thing that can save us now from the alien demons high on methyl and blue is Yahweh and his foreskin shield.
Yeah, all we can do is pray. There's a difference between Judaism and rabbinical Judaism. No, actually, there's not. There's only rabbinical Judaism.
Well, also he's like getting it wrong. The ones that are anti-Zionist Jews, that their ideology is not that they're Torah only. They still follow the Talmud. They just disagree with the ordering of events. There was actually a space the other day that somebody put. It was it was like an Orthodox or Hasidic Jew. I can't remember what his exactly thing was, but he was talking about this and explaining like about the history of that sect of Judaism and how it's very small and like what the degrees of their debates were and things like that. And I was listening, and it's literally just a difference in ordering essentially of the end times. That's the primary issue that they have. It's not like a philosophical difference or anything like that.
I remember Sneeko interviewed one of the Nutra Carta Jews. Here it is. Found it.
Yeah.
Sneeko thought, so this anti-Zionist rabbi that Sneeko talks to, he asks him about the Talmud. Sneeko thought the rabbi was going to say he doesn't believe in the Talmud. You can hear the disappointment in his voice when he says, okay. So he asked the rabbi, he already knows, he got corrected. They told him, he's like, oh, these aren't the rabbinical satanic Jews. They're anti-Zionists and Torah only. And then he asks him and he goes, no, I believe the Talmud too, he says. And he still keeps repeating the lie, even though he got corrected.
Well, it's a function of the Karaite meme, right? So the Karaites were a sect of Judaism that were Torah only Jews from Russia who said that they were Khazars, by the way, at one point, that they weren't. Oh, we converted from Khazars, and they only follow the Torah. But there's only like a couple thousand of those left in the world. It's not like a major sect of Judaism at all. These Karaites that are Torah only. So, but part of it is that part of the Russian propaganda in the Cold War was to basically like play up the degree to which Karaites were influential within Judaism, right? Because they're like trying to deflect away from, oh, it's not Jews, it's not Judaism that's the problem, it's the rabbinical ones, you know, the type of things you always talk about. That was the purpose.
Yeah, what is Judaism with no rabbis? And either way, it's not like old Judaism or Torah Judaism is not satanic, but rabbinical is satanic. They're both anti-Satan. Satan's their villain in the story. They worship Yahweh.
10 Babble Mamas sent $5 on Rumble. Have you seen or covered the actual Noahide Sneeko came across on Omegle Undebated? Sneeko was not able to figure out his religion, but he said he follows the 7 laws of Noah.
Yeah, he probably did. See, he probably endorsed the 7 laws of Noah. I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
That?
No.
You should. Oh, hold on.
Somebody find that for me.
Yeah, there's one clip that you really want to see. I retweeted it earlier. I'll find it. It was a couple.
Oh, that's today? That just happened?
No, it was a couple days
Anyway.
ago that debate happened.
Okay. I missed it. Somebody show me the Sneeko Noah Hyde clip.
Rabbi, can I ask you a difficult question I've always wanted to ask? Do you believe
Oh, shit.
in the works of the Talmud, or does only some...
No, the Talmud is an integral part of our religion.
Okay.
Judaism.
Okay. See? He thought he was going to say no. He doesn't believe the Talmud. Wrong. Even these guys that RT and all of the people want to promote so much, they still believe in the Talmud. But it doesn't matter. He still doubles down on this and lies.
That Satanists control the world, because there is a difference between Judaism and rabbinical Judaism. Torah Jews, we believe Torah is the word of God, but it's been misinterpreted by people that read the chosen people and think that means that they're superior. Racial supremacy is the core of this problem.
Dude, it's not people read it and think they're superior. It says they're superior. It says they're above the nations, the apple of the eye, the chosen people. Like, now he's sweeping for the chosen people idea, covering it up, what it actually is, and saying the Torah is beautiful. It was given to the Jews. They're just misinterpreting it. He's a Torah shill. He's a Yahweh shill. He's basically just like a Jew. He's another flavor of Judaism. Oh, dude, I'm so sick of this shit. And this is who gets on the Netflix show. This is the opposition. Sneeko and Myron are now leading the opposition, calling out the Satanist while affirming Torah.
The creation of the Talmud, the creation of the Kabbalah, right? Rabbis becoming deists that people worship. Rabbis, you have to go to...
Nobody worships rabbis. What are you talking about? They only worship God. Have you ever listened to a rabbi, Sneeko? Yeah, everybody worships the rabbis. No, their whole thing is about don't worship a rabbi. Don't worship Rabbi Jesus. That's their problem with Christianity, is that the Goyim are worshiping a rabbi as God. Just wrong about everything.
Rabbi court in order to convert to Judaism. Rabbis have almost the same power as God for a lot of the Jewish belief nowadays. Judaism has been infiltrated. It's not the same as it once was. I actually...
See, dude, Judaism's been infiltrated by Jews, bro. It's not the base Judaism it used to be. You see what this does? This is the whole line that they do with this satanic shit.
I think that he is more anti-Semitic in this conversation than me. I said Satanists control the world. He said that's anti-Semitic. So wait, are you assuming that Jews are Satan? I never even mentioned that.
Oh my God. Okay, Michael Tracy says this is Slopmageddon. Professor Zhang and Jimmy Dore. Zhang was just on with Sneeko. What?
I just dropped in the chat one of the Sneeko clips if you want to play. It's the one where he gets absolutely destroyed.
That's by a Jew though. That's not a Noahide, is it?
Right. I can't find the Noahide clip. I'm trying to find it still, but the one that I posted there is another one where he basically doesn't understand what the Hadiths even are. But you don't have to play it if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're still just going to show another example now of how he's like, oh, it's demons. Demons and the Great Awakening that's happening of the Epstein demons is God's plan. Listen.
There's no bright spot. There's no good news. It's all bad news.
No. I think there is a silver lining. The silver lining is that for the first time in our lives, people are waking up to the truth, right? Think about how people now recognize that we're run by demons.
We're not run by demons. Demons are imaginary. There's no proof of demons. Everybody's waking up that we worship that we run by demons. No. That is the psyop. Oh, the Great Awakening is actually the psyop. What?
What sucks about this whole thing is he does like a whole he goes through and he says, oh, the reason this is happening is because all of their end times prophecies line up, and the reason that there's Muslims in Europe is because they're the broom of Esau. He goes through a ton of stuff that's like true, and then he goes and at the very end, right when when it's supposed to land, he redirects it away from Jews to demons or Satanists or Freemasons, anything but Jews.
Sent $5 if it rains on their birthday. It's demons, Chinese demons.
Yeah, a priest rapes a kid. The demons made him do it. He's going to believe in Jesus and repent and be forgiven. True. Yeah, dude, it's fucking demons, bro. Oh, hey, the silver lining is actually, so that's a good thing that everybody thinks demons are ruling the world. So just everybody, what's the answer to fight the demons?
Yeah,
What's the only thing to do to fight the demons?
Yeah. Jesus, obviously, right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus is the answer. The other thing too is that this is kind of like what I would call, it's like a similar psyop or a similar idea to Blexit. You know what I mean? So this idea that, oh, all the blacks are getting off of this plantation and they're going to vote for Donald Trump. And, you know, Candace Owens sold that and all these figures sold that kind of idea, that concept. And then like that doesn't pan out, right? Like that does, you know, obviously to some degree it does, but the idea that like black people or African Americans like went in a huge way towards voting for Donald Trump in massive numbers. You know, there was figures of, oh, a majority of black men are going to vote for Donald Trump and things like that. This is the same kind of psyop where they're telling you, oh, it's okay. We're in the Great Awakening. Everyone's waking up. What are they waking up to? Demons. Like, it's not true. We are not on the cusp of some like great awakening, everyone learning and fixing these problems. Nobody really knows what's going on basically still, even though people have like a general increased awareness of like Jews and identity and immigration, all these issues and Zionism. That doesn't necessarily, it's not translating into anything because of how everyone's basically like cooked in the brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he'll say some true things, but then he misdirects you at the end and says it's the Illuminati, it's demons, it's Satanist, it's, you know, all of these things.
People now recognize that we're run by demons. This didn't happen during COVID. This didn't happen during the Biden years. People just chose to put their heads in the sand. But these Epstein files that are being released, this war in Iran, it's basically shattering the worldview of normies. And maybe this war is actually part of God's divine plan to bring about a global spiritual awakening.
See, guys, the war is God's plan to awaken everybody's spirituality, that we got to believe in Jesus and God to defeat the demons. They're all doing this shtick, dude.
Think about where they're putting their mind too. They're putting their mind, if you're a secular person, because this is leftists that are watching this, I would say, you know, generally speaking, maybe, you know, some MAGA people watch Jimmy Dore for sure, but you know, this is, you know, the dirtbag left type of thing. Like this is for leftists. So what they're doing is they're taking secular people's minds and they're taking them out of the real world and putting them in this spiritual framework where they are going to be, if AI Jesus, Blue Beam Jesus, whatever the hell they have planned for what's coming, when that happens, these people are basically primed for that now, right? You understand what I mean? People that would otherwise not have magical thinking now have magical thinking in 2026.
I see Zelensky, who's in the chat that's just been trolling nonstop, says, so it's not demons. Tell us who it is. Have I not been saying it over and over and over? Like, I've been repeating it ad nauseum. It's Abrahamics. If anybody, what greater influence on the world than the prophecy meme rooted in the Torah? Look at this. Christians, Muslims, Jews, all fighting about holy wars and Armageddon. It's not demons. It's Torah. It's Yahweh. It's not only them, but that's the big one.
To heighten the consciousness of humanity so that we collectively can build a better world.
But if 90% of the people are dead, so the people,
yeah, billionaires too, yeah,
behind is the Greater Israel Project. You're saying they have a plan to have. So there's that. How does that connect with the WEF and
hold on?
And why did they give them this power, right? And you just keep on working backwards, okay? Working backwards, and eventually you hit into the occultists. And so if you just you know, I think Kurt Metzger knows much more about this than I do. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I spend a lot of time watching Kurt Metzger on your show, and you know, he mentioned the Sapien Francus. He mentioned the interdimensional lizard people.
His source is a comedian.
Got me to research these topics, and then I was slowly able to connect the dots. So Kurt Metzger is my rabbi.
Okay.
His teacher, Kurt Metzger, Joe Rogan comedian.
Well, it's not just Kurt Metzger. I watched that whole interview, and I do think that if he's not watching you, there is some sort of
panic. Okay. What do you guys think about, instead of saying that you do not worship Satan and Baal, pointing out that Yahweh was a Baal and demanded child sacrifices as said in the Bible? That could be more effective, I think.
Well, we do say that all the time. Christianity is a child sacrifice and cannibalism with the Eucharist. So yeah, we do always say that.
It's funny that he brought that up because Jacob and Neil just did a stream. Or I'm sorry, Jacob and Jacob Berman on History Valley and Derek from Myth Vision. They just did a stream that I would basically call like high IQ ball theory. I suggest people watch it and just check it out if you're interested in that. Where he does go over like the actual ball links to or the genealogy of Yahweh.
So, and look, of course, RT is boosting all the satanic panic shit with Candace, Sneeko, Professor Zhang. That falls right in line with the Russian talking points, the Dugan talking points, the Kabbalah talking points, that the evil is satanic and demonic and antichrist. I haven't seen this one yet, but Michael Tracy says the new Singularity is when the entire, and then of course Jones too, the other Duganist, all the crossover, all these collaborations, the same conspiratardation. Let's see some of this.
Other people like the head of Air Force Weapons Development, General Parton, he'd say, no, it's dead on. They're satanic pedophiles, blah, blah, blah. And they would tell me the stories, but they...
Boleslav sent $25 regarding the satanic
that's a repeat. We're skipping. Thank you, Boleslav. But yeah, good point. We do say that. That is true.
And satanic nest on the bases and infiltrating and just, it's like, it's crazy. But it's a test. It's like MS-13 has devolved to the point, the CIA helped kind of set it up under Clinton, to become a made member, you got to sacrifice a kid and carve a pentagram in them. It's like a rite of passage. So if somebody will rape and murder kids, they'll do anything. So it's like the price of admission. So you can say as an atheist, oh, it's just, what's the most evil thing? Will be the devil. So they're choosing to be the devil archetypally, or God's real, which I know and believe, and this is a manifestation of it. Regardless, it's here, it's real, and people that never get tired of a nice steak or a sunset, or listening to beautiful music or whatever, we're satisfied. We're like, you want to rape kids? You want to get pentagrams? You want to blow countries up? These people are sick, Jimmy. And they're missing something. And so, yes, evil is real. We're now discovering the age of being naive is over. We are discovering that the devil, whether it's spiritual or a manifestation or an archetype, Carl Jung, it's real. Whatever you want to call it, the devil's real.
So
well, then why not just call Yahweh the devil then? How is it always Yahweh's bad guy when they're all doing this in the name of Yahweh? And Alex, you've been wrong about Trump for 10 years. Trump is spearheading all of this, involved with all of this. You were wrong about that, but now we're supposed to believe you that Trump's part of some satanic cabal and not just Jimmy in with Chabad Lubavitch and Christians and Jews.
Yeah, and Jimmy Dore and these guys, they supported Trump during all this, and their own, like I would say, left, like their own leftists were basically telling them, "Oh, you're gonna get, like, you're gonna fall for this. You're falling for this. You're idiots," and all these other things. And they supported Trump.
So literally Jones will find things like ball bank accounts or make up that beef jerky means baby meat, or he'll say Bohemian Grove is worshiping Moloch when an owl has nothing to do with Moloch. He manufactures and fabricates all of the satanic panic so he can say the devil is real, evil is real, and then it's a spiritual battle and we got to believe in Jesus. You gotta trust the plan and the end times, the Antichrist and globalist. That's why every time.
Wasn't Trump supposed to go in and expose this stuff? Wasn't he supposed to go in and expose that class? Instead, he's covering up for them. And if it's not because of him having something in those extra 3 million files, then I don't know what it is. It seems like they got him. They certainly got him. Israel's got him. And so I don't know what it is then if it's not that. He's supposed to be the head of the CIA. He's supposed to be the head of the FBI and the NSA. They're supposed to work for him, not the other way around. But it seems like what you're saying is it's the other way around. They're controlling the Epstein files, which means they're controlling Trump. He can't do anything. He's not the boss. And so Trump has bosses. Well, it's obvious he has handlers, and he does have bosses to people like me. But
what happens is, even when he gives orders, they say, yes, sir, and never do it. I mean, they just killed the auto pit investigation.
I mean, I think it's important.
The
that we
auto
find out if
pen.
a foreign country was involved not only with JFK's assassination, but with Charlie Kirk's, because Charlie Kirk was credited with stopping Trump starting this war last June.
Yeah, but Noam Chomsky, the Epstein acolyte that loves the island and can't wait to get back there, it's not me. I've always said investigate and there's a cover up.
Okay.
So I never said why we don't care about Epstein. We don't care. I mean, or we don't care. Like, oh, we don't. Epstein acted alone. Oh, Crooks acted alone. Oh, the Kirk killer acted alone. No, I've been saying I'm the first to say there is a cover up.
Okay.
But but Trump's not involved. Trump's exonerated, right? Look, this is what I was showing you the other day too. So this is that Ryan Bledsoe. This stuff is wildly popular. This guy's got his dad, Chris Bledsoe, in their UFO of God book, Amazon bestseller, who believes in the angel orbs, end times, divine feminine speaking to him theory. Look at the site that they share that's involved with him. Merkava Star. Tell me this isn't just Kabbalistic ascension, mystical Judaism psyop.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Mystical Judaism is sci-fi. It's the same thing. That's what that's what I think. All those things, all those like ascension experiences, and you're going up into heaven, and the wheels of Ezekiel, and all these things. Like it's just rehash ancient version, or it's like a ancient version of the UFO stuff or the sci-fi genre in general.
I played the clip of Rogan yesterday. He was talking again about aliens and demons and shilling Jesus, and he was like. He's like, have you seen what Tucker says? And it's like, have you read his book of Enoch, which is an ascension visionary mystical text? Have you read Ezekiel and book of Enoch and the chariots and the glowing spinning thing? It's just clearly this is all a biblical psyop, and this is part of the whole Judeo paradigm that they're sucking everybody into. All the
History
big
Channel is blasting this shit, by the way. It's just like nonstop, like ancient aliens, Book of Enoch, biblical conspiracy, Templar conspiracy, anything you could think of. It's like Fox News, Roganverse stuff, right? Like I don't know, like tons of
and they always do. They're Jesus historicists too. They'll do all types of documentaries on who the real Jesus really was and go along with all the slop.
I mean, they'll even go to Jesus was an alien, right? Like they'll go like into the blasphemous route. The whole goal is just to keep people like roped into this crazy thinking, right? This like conspiratorial thinking that somebody's coming.
Yeah, Tucker was sleeping with dogs, so now the UFO demons are real. All right, look at this. Iranian government AI video says Trump is denying bombing girls' school because he has Epstein demons inside of his head. Look at this.
We have no issue with civilians.
Why did you...
Oh, hold on, 10 baby mamas.
Mamas sent $5 on Rumble. Link to the full debate. It's long, but there are shorts on his channel. I think we can all agree you debate this guy over Sneeko.
Yeah, we can't have any more of this controlled dialectic Muslim versus Christian, Muslim versus Jew shit. Is circling the wagons. They're all codependents in this Judeo agenda.
We have no issue with civilians.
Why did you attack the Manav school?
Go on. Lie. Lie. Lie.
What's with the orbs? Look, Epstein, lie, demons. Look at the orbs. He's holding an orb. Demon orbs versus the angel orbs.
We didn't hit the Manav school. America doesn't have Tomahawk missiles at all. We care deeply about the Iranian people. We have no
Epstein's War. This is their whole thing. Look at this one. This is a popular on TikTok video.
Just took out Iran's leader and dude, didn't you see that we just took out Iran's leader and that we're going to take all the natural resources, so that in turn is going to make America prosper by making oil prices and gas prices go down, and everybody's going to benefit from this? I don't understand why you aren't happy. We're basically the powerhouse of the world again. There was a little girl in the Epstein files that said Jesus Christ made her feel safe, so Jeffrey Epstein and a friend dressed up as Jesus Christ when they raped, murdered, and tortured her, and then talked about.
Oh my God. That email didn't say it was a little girl, and they joked about because she says she loves Jesus, they joked about next time you see her dress up like Jesus and do the Jesus, I'm coming. It was a joke, and they didn't actually happen, and it wasn't a little girl. And they're all repeating these lies. Oh, they're so satanic ritual abuse, satanic murder. They're so stupid.
There was a little girl in the Epstein files that said Jesus Christ made her feel safe, so Jeffrey Epstein and a friend dressed up as Jesus Christ when they raped, murdered, and tortured her, and then talked about it in emails like it was another day at the office. All of a sudden, there's a war in Iran. Since that started, Epstein interest has gone down 95% online. People have immediately forgotten.
$5 on Rumble. There's a synagogue attack happening right now.
Another one? We covered it at the beginning of the show. The guy that drove his car in Michigan? Or you're saying there's another one? Epstein emails one-shotting retarded Christians. It's crazy how Christians don't ever care about finding out the truth, and they're so comfortable with just making up the most ridiculous lies day in and day out. No shame.
About the things that have happened. The Epstein files are not a trend. Could have been your kid, and if it was your kid, I guarantee you would not give a shit what war was going on or what was happening in the world except that. Stay focused.
Just completely retarded, dude. We're so cooked, says Captive Dreamer. Oh, here it is. Half the country.
For progress. So it was out in the field from March 6th, at least in part, scandal. Overall, by a 52 to 40 margin, the American people said yes. Epstein was, at least in part, motivating Trump to attack Iran. Now, independents mirrored that precisely.
There's a question nobody else was going to ask.
That's right. Nobody else was going to ask that question. But it turns out a majority of the public agrees with it. And pollsters would never have asked this if we hadn't asked them to. So independents completely mirrored the public. By a 52 to 40 margin, independents who really swung the election for Trump, they believe that Trump was motivated, at least in part, to attack Iran to distract from Epstein. Now, Republicans, as you'll see in this chart here, were the least likely to believe that. That's not surprising. But still, a quarter of Republicans said, yeah, okay, I'll acknowledge that. It had something to do with Epstein. For Democrats, it's basically an article of faith.
It's so much bigger than Epstein, this plan. Writing it off as this is just like a distraction when this is the main event is completely missing the mark.
The part of the reason, I'm like replying to Captain Dreamer, and I'm like, I've been explaining how this relates to Nick, and people don't really understand why are you guys doing that? Those people suck. And I think what's going to end up happening is, like, we have to all destroy this in our own way. Basically, what I call like schizo-rightoidism or something, or the peasant anti-Semitism, or however you would describe this. We have to basically destroy this because it's going to eat this whole thing and make it totally ineffectual, toothless. And they all see it too, despite us disagreeing on a bunch of issues. Nick sees this. I think Martin sees this. Captain Dreamer sees this. All these people see this. You know what I mean? So, we obviously
a bunch of people that don't like, a bunch of like OG influencers that don't like each other all see this same thing, clear as day.
Yeah.
Here's the latest White House propaganda. Their propaganda's been pretty on point for the most part. Let's see. Operation Epic Fury, start. Oh, we're playing Wii. Wow, they're really like trivializing. It's like they're trying to desensitize you to the war, that it's like a video game. Just a game, Goy. Dude, this is actually kind of this might not be on point propaganda. This is distasteful.
Slam dunk.
Sophisticated propaganda. This works. This probably goes really hard if you're like a retard play video games all day type of person, right? Oh, Boomer slop. Boomer slop.
Now this is millennial slop. That's what that is.
Millennial slop. You're a bunch of sick fucks, aren't you? What the hell is wrong with y'all? That's funny. Tone deaf. Yeah, deaf. All right.
It's crazy though, because whoever is making those is kind of a genius. They're doing like white man Kabbalah or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've captured an essence and they're promoting an idea. And it's like, it is, I mean, it's not the right one, but it is interesting how they crafted that thing so well. I wish I could make edits like that well.
You're pretty good. Over 1,100 Jewish rabbis from across the U.S. have signed onto a letter affirming their support for immigrant rights and calling on leaders not to wrong or oppress the stranger. How many rabbis are there in America, I wonder? 1,100 rabbis? I love how it's Jewish rabbis, as if that's not redundant. Support the immigrant rights. What does that mean? It means let all the immigrants stay. Let all the illegal immigrants stay. That's what it means. Clearly. All right. We're going to bang through some of these anti-Semitism. Or hold on. We'll do the AI first, and then we'll do the anti-Semitism conference. There's only a new anti-Semitism conference every week with all of these highlights. But you're here, so let's do the AI one. You want to start with this?
Yes, sure, sounds good.
Okay.
This is great.
AI Moshiach.
Visions. And let's now move into a bit more of a Jewish messianic vision space. You suggested that it could be that God, his preference is always to operate within the natural world. But of course, the messianic vision is going to be a transformed world. And you said perhaps what we may see happen is technology would almost become the vessel that humanity had partnered with God in creating, but then it would become the vessel through which God could perform these incredible miracles, right? Can you just elaborate a bit on that?
So this idea, I remember seeing it a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago. There was a genius, a polymath called Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan. I think at one point he was listed on the who's who of young American physicists. And then he became a Baal Tshuva, became an Orthodox Jew, and just became this genius. Like he'd read so much. If you just look at the footnotes of the works and books that he wrote, and he wrote a ton of books and then died, I think, in his very early 40s. So in a very short space of time, he'd covered so many areas with such a vast knowledge. And he speculated that technology might be the bridge between the two approaches to the Messianic era world to come prophecies. One is they're all natural. Maimonides goes with that view. It's Shmuel in the Gemara says, seems they will all be natural. And the other is we clearly have seeming supernatural prophecies. And Rabbi Kaplan said maybe technology is God's way of bridging the gap. In other words, built into the natural world is the ability to access things that we currently consider supernatural. Just like the Purim story is the greatest revelation of God because it only uses the natural world, and it suddenly reveals to us that the natural world's not what we thought it was. It's something else. It's really revealing the hand of God all the time. So too, the fact, look, think what a smartphone is, right? Anybody watching this now, the vast majority are going to be watching on smartphones. The rest are going to be watching on screens. Every piece of that smartphone or screen was once sitting inside the mud of planet Earth. It's a metal. So we have this intelligent mud. You just take mud and minerals and metals in the ground, reconfigure them.
They're basically taking their ancient concepts and applying it to science. So they're basically saying like God is science. Does that make sense? Like that's pretty interesting of a concept. Because it basically allows them to claim that all science is actually like, that's you wouldn't have that without Hashem.
Radiation sitting in the sky, take another bunch of metals and send them up to space, and boom, we've got this. So we have this like intelligent mud and metals sitting in planet Earth. So now imagine what else is waiting for us. Now we think about all these prophecies, whether they're written in the rabbinic texts as oral traditions, whether they're explicit in the prophets. Let me give a very simple example. You've got the Talmud telling us that in the future, pork will become kosher, right? Now, obviously, that's a metaphor for the idea there'll eventually come a time when things that are forbidden are somehow permitted. But it can also come literally true. We are now on the edge of having a laboratory-produced
Remember, Epstein talked about this too.
Doesn't even come from the original animal, where you can replicate it perfectly, and it looks exactly the same, and it's the same materials as would come if it was cooked exactly from then, and it will be kosher. Now, whether the rabbis will forbid it for some reason, fine, but it's biblically speaking going to be kosher meat. So we know that's going to literally happen. But then you think like this. we also have visions like the wolf will lie down with the lamb. Of course, that's a metaphor in Isaiah chapter 11. Of course, it's telling us there's going to be world peace and the powerful will lie down with the non-powerful, none shall make them afraid, obviously. But it can also come literally true. Because once we can produce lab-produced meat, humans are not going to want to kill animals anymore. And once we stop killing animals, we're going to get very bothered by the fact that animals kill animals. And whether it's 100 years in the future or 10 years in the future, wherever it is, we're going to have the technology to stop them killing each other. Right? We might be able to have every single animal.
No way. We're never going to. People aren't going to be like, no. The view is let animals take their course. If a snake catches a rabbit and it's got him wrapped up in the wild, you're not supposed to go help the rabbit from the snake, right? That's the cycle. That's nature. You let it go. What is he talking about?
Anti-nature. They're anti-nature. Isn't this crazy? This is what they want to do. This is and what's crazy, isn't it crazy how this like dovetails with Bill Gates and some of his projects, we're going to put, you know what I mean? Like, this is where this comes from, guys. And the other thing too, that's important is he mentioned like a Rabbi Kaplan. I have it in the post where I explain it a little bit, but essentially that is an Orthodox rabbi who was applying, like this like AI, like techno-messianism, to the real, like to Silicon Valley and its projects. And his ideas are incredibly popular in Silicon Valley. I personally believe that, Peter Thiel and some of these guys, they don't quote him directly, but this is where a lot of their ideas come from this Rabbi Kaplan guy. He basically wrote a lot about this. Like,
they're anti-nature, anti-pagan. When they're anti-pagan, they say it's anti-nature. That is just wild. That's taking like veganism to a whole nother level. Well, where not even animals can eat other animals. Hey, isn't it your God that made it that way to begin with? No, they have to fix. God messed up by having the animals have to eat other animals. Oh, it's actually Adam and Eve's fault in the garden, like vegan sharks. Then we get into vegan sharks territory.
Yeah, they're wrestling with God, Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. This is their version of vegan sharks.
Yeah.
Or have an intravenous patch and fly a drone across every day and feed them. But so these are just tiny examples.
We're going to use drones to feed all the wild animals in the world with lab-grown meat. That's totally going to happen. Real serious, Rabbi.
Of course, we can go further and further and further. We start to talk about the world to come as being like in the Garden of Eden, where all of humanity was one in a single shared consciousness. And you suddenly think, how far away is that? How far away would it be for super brains to be able to produce shared consciousness? And maybe the whole Jewish people and the whole of mankind can start to have a shared consciousness. Now, obviously, if you do, right, and you want
that's just AI.
God is going to be so
an AI that can collect everybody's info from their phones and their social media, bulk data collection. That would be a single consciousness of all of the world in a way, a single artificial consciousness.
Vast that people who lived anti-God lives won't be able to sustain themselves with that revelation. And people who lived selfish lives won't be able to live with others probably. So we can see who could make it.
See that? So people that are anti-God and people, they're going to be set aside and they're not going to be able to sustain themselves or live in the world probably, he says.
Yeah.
You understand what
Go
that
along
means?
with his weird, twisted, Kabbalistic futurism. Otherwise, no share in the world to come for you.
Yeah,
if you don't want their Tikkun Olam.
Their techno Tikkun Olam. However you would describe this. Do you see how they're merging these two things together?
Crazy.
Of course, all this is speculative, but I'm just giving a few glimpses of how these could easily be vessels for all the things the prophets have said are going to happen.
And just on the topic of shared consciousness, there's a lot of talk about this idea of reincarnation, that our souls can live many lives, but then we're resurrected at the end of days. This whole concept of shared consciousness and this idea that if we've had many lives, but each of our bodies are resurrected, how will that work? Does that fit into that at all?
So it's amazing. There's a debate between Maimonides and those who follow his view, and others. Not Maimonides is the most famous, but a long line of thinkers who interpret the text as saying the world to come is not physical. And Nachmanides and many other thinkers who interpret the texts as saying actually the world is physical and it includes the world to come and the resurrection of the dead. And you start to see how all this could be easily true, right? Meaning they could both be true, because here we are using physical bodies that powering brains. Eventually you could even have some kind of I don't know, lab sustained brains
This
that are able to
doesn't
enter
this
much
and this
deeper conscious
dovetails with
states.
Christian
And
theology.
it
The rise, the dead will rise again, and all that other stuff, right? This all like links up in like common themes.
Yeah, talk about a kooky end times dystopia. All the dead are gonna rise. The resurrection of the dead. Just creepy and weird and like delusional.
It's like a supervillain. This is from like a supervillain book. Like they literally want to raise the dead. It's like they're like they're talking about like global necromancy, guys.
could be from there we can stretch across time in ways that are currently inconceivable and bring those who've ever lived back in. Or it could be we'll discover that we're all much more interconnected than we think we are. The point is that right now it's not even a horizon technology to be able to access the dead. Right now, a horizon technology is being able to resurrect species, right? But that can easily, it's no longer inconceivable that within 20, 30, 40 years, we'll have some access to past consciousnesses in the way that we can't currently imagine. Now, you asked,
give us a sense of
they
like,
already have
how
Charlie
would that
Kirk
possibly
AI.
work? How could technology?
Yeah. Here, we'll do that right now. Charlie Kirk's consciousness. Hey, they just upload every tweet he ever made, every book he ever wrote, every interview he ever did, every speech he ever gave, uploaded it to an artificial AI character. And here you go.
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end. It's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad. It is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy. Do it with strength. And never, ever let evil think it won.
Did you see the Glenn Beck Washington one?
I just pulled that up. I just pulled it up to show next. Yeah.
I was just pulling it up too. Okay.
Okay, that's funny. This is demonic, right? Isn't this satanic and demonic? Of course it's AI, White Wizard. That's the point. AI says this has to be AI. Yeah. Wow, standing O. Standing O for AI zombie ghost Charlie. Charlie's ghost. That's crazy. And then Glenn Beck did this. Interviewing George Washington, AI George Washington. George Washington giving the okay of why we should bomb Iran. So crazy.
We are trying to not fight foreign wars and not be involved in the world's policemen. But there are times that we have to demonstrate strength.
This is an AI George Washington.
Conflict. But I don't know where the foreign entanglement begins and where it ends.
When I was president, I did not crave power. I didn't strut in my uniform, dreaming of conquest. In fact, I begged several times to not be the general and not be the president. I didn't want it, but I understood my responsibility.
So how long before we already have it? An AI Jesus. Everybody has their own AI Jesus that knows all the Bible, that's just programmed to be Jesus.
Yeah, and then the Catholics their response to that will be just like it is today. Instead of saying like, no, we reject this entirely, they'll say, no, that's blasphemy. You're not supposed to do AI Jesus. You're supposed to just love him for like what the church says. And like, that's going to be the dialectic that we have, is between those two sides. Instead of like a complete rejection of the whole concept itself, it's going to be fighting within itself, basically.
Chat says he's looking good for his age. He is. Your grandpa thought this went hard. Washing steam.
One other thing I want to say too is I do think that this is kind of what the future ideologies are going to be. In the same way the Cold War was like it was like capitalist democracy versus Soviet communism, and it was like that kind of idea. Whatever this new age we're entering it is going to be this like what you could call like techno humanism, or however you would describe what we just watched, versus Abrahamism. And in the same way it's controlled out on both sides, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like those two sides of ideology, I would say. And I think that the Abrahamics are going to just be also using this technology. It's just that the other ones are going to go harder with it. But that's kind of what I think is going to happen with this like whole AI world to come stuff, is they're all kind of obsessed with it.
If you don't think that Zionist neocon George Washington goes hard, you might be a traitor. You're not a patriot if you're not down for Zionist neocon George Washington. And I see conspiracy truther Doc Holiday in the chat. He says, make an AI Rebbe Schneerson and have Adam interview him. They already made an AI Rebbe. I did a show on it a few years ago. It was an AI trained rabbi made by Chabadniks, and I got it to admit all types of crazy stuff. Moshiach rules the world. Their souls are better than our souls. It was very well trained, though, on apologetics to like not get tripped up and make it look bad. They had that built in. Look at this. This is breaking. Netanyahu says, we will make it to the return of the Messiah, but it will not happen next Thursday. Is that Passover next Thursday?
No.
I don't know what he means next Thursday. Okay. Yeah, 24 days, right. 21 days left.
Falls, then the problem would be solved. But Iran is no longer Iran of the past. Iran is no longer that big nation, that regional strong arm. We are working against Iran in many ways, and in ways that would be revealed at a later stage. And I can say that Israel is much stronger, much greater than it has been in the past. We need to recognize this. And I believe we all recognize the fact that we will reach to the kingdom. We will make it to the return of the Messiah, but this will not happen.
We'll make it to the return of the Messiah.
The return of the Messiah, but this will not happen next Thursday. The lives of nations is always precarious and surrounded with threats. Our survival, our endurance is a result of alliances that we forge for our existence.
Okay, don't need to. Oh, okay.
Stronger.
10
No
seconds.
doubt we are moving from one battle to another, from the establishment. And with this battle now, with this operation, Israel has become stronger than ever.
Oh, but he's a secular Jew. He's not Jewish enough. He's an atheist, right? Do we hear this all the time? And of course, now he's talking about bringing the Messiah.
And the religious
What's
Jews
with
say
all
the same thing. By the
Say
way,
that?
like
What?
The religious Jews on the right say the same thing. This is basically like adopting like the far right or the religious Jewish position in Israel. This is what they say, that I don't always like Bibi, or I don't like Bibi, and their complaint is that he doesn't keep kosher enough, he doesn't keep the law enough, he doesn't talk about the religion enough. That's their complaint, like that he's not Jewing hard enough or Jewing properly.
He's not trying to rebuild the temple enough, right?
Yeah, that's their whole complaint about him. So when people on our side come in and like adopt that position and grant them that position, it's just stupid. When the entire like balancing act of Bibi, the kind of what makes him who he is this ability to sort of balance the secular parts of Israel with the religious parts, right? His ability to have his feet in both camps and navigate power still. That's what makes him who he is.
Dude, all these competing messianic figures and prophecies too, between all these this Abrahamic echo chamber. They want their Moshiach. Christians want Jesus. They want the Mahdi and Jesus in Islam. We're so cooked. Okay. Oh, there's more AI. We didn't finish the rest of that AI clip. There it is.
Help us to access
1 more
beings
minute.
that are no longer conscious anymore.
So right now we can only travel through time in a particular way. Right now, our tools to navigate the laws of space-time.
Let's get some donos. We got to hit the goal. We're an hour and a half in. We got another maybe hour to go, at least half hour to go.
Physics.
Let's go. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all this.
Oh, we're getting
only
time
allow
traveling
us
Jews,
to
guys.
navigate things that are here in this particular temporal
Space Jews, time traveling space Jews.
of physics. We might be able to make contact with, access, move across realms that include what we currently call past or other temporal dimensions. So as long as you can do that.
Oh, great, dude! They're gonna bring in the demons. This is just giving ammunition to the demon fanatics.
Then of course you can bring them back. We can't currently do that. Like there's lots of things we can. Right, once upon a time.
How crazy is that this clip doesn't go like popular in their spheres, right?
The size of what you could see, but now we've got tools to do that. Right? Once upon a time, you could never travel against gravity, but now we can do that. So there's lots of things we can now do because we have a deeper understanding of the laws of physics that we couldn't do given our limited physics. So given that we're likely to make more breakthroughs in the incoming century than all of history till now, all sorts of things might become possible that aren't currently possible.
Wow. Absolutely fascinating, and I really think it's important that we humble ourselves and realize that we are like that ant, and we just don't know that the possibilities. And it's easy to scoff and think, oh, that's ridiculous, of course. But people 100 years ago would be scoffing if we told them what we could do now. Not even.
How crazy is that, dude? So they're really planning. This is really kind of what they're doing. And so this is like that's a religious Jew like merging this techno thing with it, right? So it's like both things at the same time.
All right,
That is what they want to do.
let's get through some of these new. They had another. I always joke about how there's an anti-Semitism conference every weekend, and of course we have another big Washington D.C. anti-Semitic. There's Yehuda Kaplan, the Chabadnik anti-Semitism czar. Let's hear the latest from him.
President Trump and Secretary Rubio's message and their marching orders are clear, and they're crystal clear. The scourge of anti-Semitism must be defeated anywhere and everywhere that it exists. As we just heard before, from holding universities accountable to using laws within the Justice Department, existing laws, to hold and prosecute crimes against the Jewish community, from preventing people from working and going to worship in their shuls. And then, as was touched on very briefly, but a visa vetting program that we are just beginning now to see the results. In addition, I'll share with you a story of my first diplomatic trip abroad. It was to Switzerland, where I represented the United States of America at the organization called the OSCE, which has 57 members, funded by the United States. All the anti-Semitism envoys were there, and it was an interesting and an eye-opening experience as to why this administration is making a difference. 18 of 57 bodies are actually upholding their agreements to report anti-Semitic activity. The other countries haven't done anything. Only 30 of those countries are members of IRA. When I asked a very practical question at the forum, I said, if I would pay my taxes on 1/3 of my income, would you continue to fund me, or would I be arrested for not paying my taxes? The Secretary and the President have made it crystal clear we are not funding bodies that are promoting anti-Semitism or not upholding their end of the agreements. And you're seeing those results literally saving lives across the globe. We are holding countries.
Am I hearing this right? America is funding 57 organizations and conferences in Switzerland all about stopping anti-Semitism with the new anti-Semitism definition. That's really what we're into.
Funny.
Countries accountable for what they say they're going to do, and if they don't do it, we're actually pulling our funding or withdrawing from those organizations, and we're not going to take inaction and push and kick the can down the road.
This guy's such a bore.
The IRA Accord should be a basic landmark and a measuring stick for every country as to how you should work and oppose anti-Semitism. Yet, we have fewer than 50 countries out of 197. One of the goals of the administration is to increase that by a significant number.
They want every country in the world to adopt this definition.
I've only been Senate confirmed for the last 8 weeks, or 9 weeks now. But our work, we can tell, is beginning to have impacts.
Look at this. Apparently, this same synagogue in Detroit just a few weeks ago, or 2 months ago, FBI Detroit led an active shooter attack prevention and preparedness at this same Temple Israel in Bloomfield just 2 months ago. Isn't that what a coincidence? Huh.
Of course.
All right, here's more from the conference.
Anti-Semitism is at the highest levels ever. How do you combat anti-Semitism when we have 500 groups to combat anti-Semitism? We're spending the most money in history to combat anti-Semitism.
Based.
And yet anti-Semitism is at the highest levels ever since 1933. Because we can no longer have 500 different messages to combat anti-Semitism.
500 different there's 500 different orgs fighting anti-Semitism. Look, this is breaking. Laura Loomer blames Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens for talking about Chabad. It wasn't even a Chabad synagogue that got attacked, by the way. She says their hatred would lead to people shooting up Jews in synagogues that will likely end up being a Muslim. And then Tucker responded and said a whole wall of text we're not going to read. He said stop blaming him, basically.
We have to have one cohesive message. We have an administration that is willing to work with everybody to fight the scourge of anti-Semitism.
I don't think Tucker's to
blame.
blame.
The way we do it is one message and with education. We start by educating our children to have a pride in Jewish history and have the ability to answer all those idiots on college campuses who think they know Jewish history. Whether it be Brandeis, Cardoza, Einstein, Salk, pick the industry, we have made an impact in every country we've ever been in, historically.
Thank you, Onyx Rocks.
$5 in voting blue no matter who, and I can't believe him saying that.
Dude, how does Newsom look compared to Trump or J.D. Vance?
Well, those people, like, you could say all you want, like, oh, those people are going to do even worse and all these other things. But those guys couldn't even handle college kid protesters. Like, they weren't able to stop college kid protesters. So if you think that they could, like, mobilize the country for Gog and Magog as effectively as Trump could, or J.D. Vance can, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you just don't understand how those things work. There's absolutely no chance that Kamala Harris or Newsom or any of these people would be able to just like, oh, we're going to take the country to total war. And it's going to, that's not, they can't even control their own people over on this issue, because the left hates this Israel thing way more than the right. We're just in the kind of like our own bubble where we associate, oh, look at all these right-wing people who are anti-Zionist. That is a very small, that's a minority position in the right wing. It's the left wing who is like that. So I don't know. I don't think that I don't know. People are coping when they think that Trump would have been so much better in so many ways, but
yeah, he's still better than Kamala. Yeah, it's like, is it really? Is he less Zionist than Kamala? Yeah. I mean, if America gets destroyed because of this forever, was he better than Kamala? Like,
people are like, Biden imported 10 million illegals while he was in office, and we can't. And look, we could legitimately 10 million, 20 million illegals is less damaging to the country than ground invasion of Iran. So I don't know what to tell you.
Check this out. This just got sent to me. Some breaking news. This is funny. Some breaking news here, guys. Ready? Being reported by Schizo Post, Adam Green has converted to Catholicism after years of condemning the church. Praise God.
Oh, please
fake
pray.
News. This is fake news. This hasn't happened. Maybe one day I'll say Christ is king. I mean, Christ is cha-ching. That's funny, though. Good one. Dude, I don't know if you Google my name, is this the picture that comes up? I hate this picture. This is like the picture that like the Jewish groups used to attack me many years ago. Like, this is the Canary Mission picture. No wonder it shows up first.
And any country that hasn't been kind to the Jews hasn't had a very positive ending.
Dude, that's a threat. Oh, anti-Semitism is record highs. All the world is anti-Semitic. Not since 1930s Germany has the anti-Semitism been so high in America. It looks just like the 1930s. And we know what happens to countries where you're anti-Semitic. Dude, how many more threats to Edom are they going to give us? Crazy. Yo, Rochelle.
$5. Congrats, Adam. Shabbat Shalom. But
Thank
in
you.
Catholic,
Yes, the Catholics are going to be so happy. God wins every time. The power of Christ, even converted, no more news. How about that? Okay, here's Chris Meta, Eric Medics. I don't know how to say that. Wait, that's not the conference. Let's skip him. This is the conference. Another Christian up there. Here's your base masculine Christians.
Gates, I was hoping you could expound on what Shabbos was saying. You're Catholic, I'm Catholic. You've written that anti-Semitism is spiritually incompatible with Christianity.
So true.
Yeah, I mean, we share a book. We are the branches on the tree whose root is Judaism. I mean, I don't think I'm breaking any news here.
Rough.
What I always say is, as conservatives, right? What are we conserving? Conserve is in our name. And if we lose what we're conserving, then we're no longer conservatives conserving anything. We're progressives, and that's the last thing we want to be. And I see
Conserving Judaism, Christianity, conserving Judaism amongst the Goyim.
all of the people on the right, I call them the woke right. There's the horseshoe theory. They're not conservatives. They're doing everything that the left has always done. It's identity politics. It's the grievance model. It's the victimization. I am trying to conserve Western civilization. Western civilization is grounded in Judeo-Christian principles.
Gates, I was hoping you could...
Dude, yeah. The Judeos are really defending Western civilization.
Oh, you should bring up, did you see, what's his name, Lindsay's tweet about this, about this woke right thing? It really is a Christian thing, right? Like, that's how they're using it. They're afraid of the anti-Christians. Hold on, let me bring it up real quick. I'll post it.
Yeah, no, they're always saying they're pagans. Or is he the one that said something about, like, they want to bring back pagan Rome or something like that?
Yeah, he said that, but he tweeted the other day, he said, I'm waiting for them to come out and say Christianity is a Jewish psyop.
Oh, yeah.
The lines of distinction between Catholicism and Christianity. Any day now, the war on Protestants and American unity must continue, and Jews has to be the wedge. So what's going on? And they've been pushing this for a while. This like whole this people are woke right and the horseshoe theory and all these other things. That what they're doing is they're trying to keep the right wing from changing its priorities away from like freedom and universalism to like order and you know what I mean, these the type of ideas that we talk about and not putting universalism as the highest value because of Christianity and things like that. That's what they're trying to do with this whole rhetoric, this thing. And you see it when they call Nick pagan, they call Nick not anti-Christian, things like that, right? That's really what they're trying to say, is that Nick questions the universality. He questions freedom as being the number one thing, because they so badly want to keep like the right wing conservatism as like freedom as the highest value.
James Lindsay is so out of the loop, like with some of his stuff. He says I'm waiting for them to come out and say, quote unquote, Christianity is a Jewish op. Well, we're already saying that. And to draw lines of distinction between Catholicism and Christianity, that's what they already do. Are you kidding me? Catholics are the real Christians, not those heretical Zionist Schofield Bible. Like, that's all they ever talk about. Both of these things are already happened. What do you mean you're waiting for them to come out? And we don't differentiate between the Catholicism or Protestant or Orthodox. It's a Jewish myth from the get-go to theologically conquer the Gentiles, no matter what schisms or division of the church or new sects that popped up. Anyway, yeah. And what did you write here? Yeah, it shows what they really fear, actually, is they want you to be Christian and they fear you being pagan. That's why they call you Christian nationalist pagans. Christians holding up Jewish myths in the world. Okay, next one. Christianity is Jewish propaganda on steroids, says See Through It All.
15.
This guy.
Pastors and Christians have been a part of the founding of our country, and it's inextricably linked to our Jewish heritage, really, because when you look at Scripture, you can't deny how, as an evangelical pastor and Christian, obviously I believe that Jesus is the Messiah, and so he's born in Israel, he dies in Israel, he rises again in Israel. So those things are a part of our faith and what we believe, and I consider myself to be part of one of the 5 that Senator Cruz said he could count on his hand, who have preached against replacement theology, preached against anti-Semitism, because it is, as I've said from my pulpit, anti-Semitism is Satanism.
Why is anti-Semitism from Satan? Why is anti-Semitism a spiritual issue in your mind?
Well, it's a spiritual issue. Again, now, my perspective as an evangelical Christian, when God initiated a redemptive plan for...
See, greatest defenders, it's a spiritual mission for Christians to defend Jews, right? You understand this? This is the majority of Christians. This is the direction of Christianity. This is the institutions of Christianity. This is what they're pushing. And especially when the E-Crusaders and the Christian anti-Semitism, they speak out against that more than anything. They feel it is their obligation to come to the aid of the Jews and defend the Jews from the fake Christians and internet e-crusaders that are hating Jews in the name of Jesus, and they won't let it stand. Another example of how this is not going to work. The Christian medieval peasant anti-Semitism is destined and maybe even designed to fail.
For the sake of the whole world. And he birthed that plan through an ethnic group of people, the Jewish people. His promise that he made in Genesis chapter 12 with Abraham, that he confirmed in Genesis 15, is still in place. And, when people talk about how, and Ted Cruz alluded to it, that God has taken his promises intended for Israel and placed it on the church, I always ask, at what point did God break his covenant? At what point did he decide that he was no longer going to fulfill his promises? So because he's made a promise through the Jewish people for the sake of the benefit of the whole world, that's why Satan is opposed to this, because he knows that this redemptive plan is literally life-changing, and so he's going to come.
See, just like the Jews, if you oppose the Zionist agenda, you oppose Torah prophecy or Yahweh or any Moshiach, you're working for Satan, you're Amalek, you're evil, they're going to rise and kill you first, wage war by deception.
This one guy right here has more influence than every Joel Webbin in the entirety of this sphere. Every single one of them, Nick or Joel Webbin, any of these people that are even like remotely a little bit Christian nationalist, Candace Owens, all these people. This guy right here has more power and influence individually than all of them combined.
I don't know if this guy... Maybe real world influence, but like internet influence, Nick has obviously more than this guy. I don't know who this, maybe he's got millions of followers on Facebook or something. I don't know who this guy is. But your point is true. For every Joel Webbin and Nick Fuentes, there's thousands of actual pastors that have churches or publishing deals with big Barnes & Noble publishers, or, AM radio station hosts, or leaders of every denomination of church, or the AM radio. I already said AM radio. You get the point. All of them. Seminaries.
In an effort to try to quench God's redemptive plan for the sake of the whole world. So, therefore, he incites and inspires people. We've mentioned some of them. I had a whole anti-Semitism service addressing this problem on January the 21st. I just played clips of Candace, played clips of Tucker, spoke in between, tried to let their own words show for themselves just how, in my opinion, how demonic they have gone. And it's all rooted in this. This is
the girl too, the blonde bimbo beauty pageant girl, the Catholic that was on the religious committee, officially kicked off by Trump now. She just shared the email. So that's the path forward, guys.
For days. She's been seething for days.
Yeah. Who could have imagined that line of attack would fail? If you only listened.
There are demonic principalities. There's a satanic move to incite anti-Semitism in our world. It's not new. I mean, it's been around forever. But this is his continual way of trying to introduce hatred, vitriol, because of God's ultimate redemptive plan for the sake of the whole world. So he's still in place right now. But what we're seeing, which is more troubling, is this anti-Semitism faction has started to divide the church, and it's been dividing conservative circles, and that's a big concern.
So do you feel that? And do you have young parishioners who are...
Absolutely. I mean, when I had this anti-Semitism service addressing this, we had a packed house, 2,000 people, and then we had thousands watching online, and I'd say 60-40 and the response on our social media, 60% was in favor. Another 40% were just going off on our social media, talking about, why are you doing this? Saying about me, you must be paid by Israel to be talking about this. And, you know, you're in Bibi Netanyahu's back pocket. I mean, all this nonsense, which is just part of, you know, the whole conspiracy, the unaccountability of the social media right now on the internet. People can say anything, and you're supposed to believe it, and so that's what we're combating right now. But yeah, I've seen this kind of response, not in particular in my church. I mean, we have people who just really love Israel. They understand my heart. If they didn't like my heart, they won't be at our church anyway, because I'm supportive of Israel. But the ones who are behind the keyboard, what I call the keyboard cowards, you know, they're on social media just typing away at all this anti-Semitic stuff. So it's an issue.
Oh, hey, stop attacking Christians, Amalek. You're so anti-white. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we just got to just don't admit Jesus is Jewish, dude. That's the right path. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, and then Joel Webben, you know, he does his thing, and what happens? All of the Christians freak out. It's like a bunch of wasps, right? He like goes over and swats a wasp nest with a baseball bat, and he gets all stung up. And these guys are like, "Well, what's wrong? What's wrong with hitting the wasp nest? What if we just keep doing it? What does it matter?" You know, Jake Shields says that. What does it matter, Adam? I'm not going to say that Jesus is Jewish, even though I know he is. It's ridiculous. And it serves no purpose. Like it actually hurts us in every single way when we try to mix identity or counter-Semitism or anything like, or anti-Zionism with the religious thing. Every chance that's ever been tried has backfired. And we're seeing it with Joel. We're seeing it with all these people. It's retarded. It is a failed strategy. We have to move on. It's a sunk cost. Like we have to move on. It's not worth investing our time in that anymore. That project is over. And the religion is dying among our people.
It's so funny. Jake Shields is like, I'll never admit that Jesus is Jewish. It's like, so you know he is, and you're just going to lie and like be open that you're lying. Just like he says, I'm not a Christian, but I say Christ is king to trigger Zionists. It's just like, dude, yeah, well, totally true.
It would be like if he like, I'll never say that Santa Claus isn't real. I'll never say it, even if you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you're just a child then? Like, what are you talking about?
I'll never say the sky is blue.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Okay, Netanyahu says the war in Iran is turning Israel into a, quote, global superpower. That's the plan.
Citizens of Israel, my brothers and sisters, we are in historic days. Days that will be
biblical days. Rabbi Dyer, thank you for the dono.
That appeal to fallacy.
Yeah. Oh, did I say a fallacy? Thanks for calling me on that, Rabbi Dyer. Good to have you here, Rabbi Dyer. Calling us on our fallacies, as usual.
In the annals of Israel, in Operation Roaring Lion, our roar is going and intensifying. We are pummeling the Islamic regime in Tehran. We are pummeling its emissaries, Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's unprecedented coordination between Israel and the U.S. and achieved substantial achievements that are changing the reality in the West Bank, in the Middle East and beyond. These achievements are increasing the status of Israel as a superpower more than ever. Through our power in opposition to the power of our enemies, this is what is ensuring our survival. Our threats come and go, but when we become a regional superpower, and in many respects, a global superpower, we have the power to push away threats and ensure our future.
Global superpower, just as Isaiah foretold and the scriptures foretold. Dude. Oh, and by the way, all the Baal people, I've covered this before, but look, this is just out again today. Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, only the most kosher Christian in the world, maybe, right? What is he fear-mongering about? What is his talking point? Return of the gods. Jonathan Cahn warns the spirit of Baal is rising again. Okay, Dugan. Okay, Alex Jones. Okay, all these JQ kooks, low IQ anti-Semites out there kvetching about Baal Satanists running things. This is the type of Zionist rhetoric that you're echoing.
It's everywhere.
Here's Ted Cruz at the conference, anti-Semitism conference.
I could tweet this morning, "Good morning," and hundreds of anti-Semitic responses would immediately fill my social media.
That is funny how
Turns out I've
that
seen
people are in
many
his
times
head.
an image of myself in a bikini with the flag of Israel. I could tweet this morning.
Bikini with a bat.
Good morning.
Oh, here's one of them. Oh, dude, this isn't the one I thought it was, but there he is. Ugh. There's the cheerleader for Israel. Oh, dude, he's asking for the bikini shots. Oh, dude, he's the Israel goalkeeper. All right, we get the point. He's still in Congress, though. He's still the one with the influence and the power and in Congress. So you can cope all you want. Oh, we're ratioing him. We're all awakening, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's still in Congress and he has the power. What now?
How easy is it going to be for them to flip a switch and turn this whole thing off? All the, quote unquote anti-Semitism. As soon as it's done serving its purpose, they're just going to turn that dial back down.
Yep.
Tucker Carlson calls himself a Christian. Talked about you being an evangelical Christian. People are confused. Wait, Christian? First Christian? They don't get it. We have a lot of these podcasters talk about Christ is king, and they say one thing out of their mouths that's very not just anti-Israel but anti-Semitic. Yeah. And then they go on and quote Jesus in the next sentence. Address that for us. Clear that up theologically, especially as it relates to, let's be honest, a lot of them believe in the replacement theory.
Yes.
There's replacement theology, excuse me.
So I will say, Heidi and I are members of First Baptist Church in Houston. Our pastor, Greg Mott, is a dear friend and a wonderful pastor. And one of the things we started doing this year is Pastor Greg is coming to my house, typically Sunday afternoons or evenings, and just spending some time in Bible study and prayer. And just this last Sunday, a week ago, we were talking about exactly what you just asked. And I said, I'm really troubled by how the phrase Christ is king is being used. Look, I agree with the statement, Christ is king.
See, it's not the statement. And then people play dumb. They go, oh, they don't like it when we say that. It's like you're obviously antagonizing. Just like the Christians say to me, I got a 1-star review on my book on Amazon, and the only response was Christ is king. These scumbag lying Christians and their cope. Yeah, it's pronounced Christ is king of the Jews. Finish the rest of the part, right? Of the Jews. But also, Christ is king has become the rallying call for Gog and Magog war with Hegseth.
Although it is being used online in a way that is meant to say, screw you, Jew. It is being used in a context very directly to say, I hate Jews, and that's almost an online code word. Christ is king is, I hate the Jew.
Is that your view, or why do you say that?
Because you see the people who are saying it, and
it's retarded because saying Christ is king is like, it's anti-Gentile, it's pro-Jewish. It's saying Moshiach is the king of the world. Well, that's also what the Jews want. The first people to say Jesus was king were all Jews. So twisting this, I mean, it's nuanced.
saying it in that context. They're saying Jews are horrible, good, like they're attacking Jews, and they end with Christ is king to make it sound like somehow there's a biblical basis for attacking Jews. Look, Jesus was a Jew. And by the way, the twisted theology that says Jews are Christ killers, and that's been used to justify anti-Semitism, to justify persecution and murder. Look, as I read the Gospels, Jesus went to the cross willingly. He made the choice to go to the cross, and it was not the Jews who killed Jesus. It was me. It was you. Look, Jesus died for our sins because man is fallen.
God's plan is Jesus had to die, and then we're going to be mad at the people who carried that out is the dumbest thing ever. It's why it's never going to work.
Death. And Jesus took on the punishment that you
Thunderstorm
deserve.
and
And
$5 on Rumble.
Thank you,
Low
Thunderstorm.
Intelligence anti-Semitism seems purposely pushed possibly to create some legislation.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying all along. Legislation, hate speech laws, IRA definition, censorship online, more funding, more homeland security, more special security, more Christian activism. Creates a whole lot of things, and none of them are good.
I deserve, so that we could be covered in his blood and receive salvation, not through works, not through what we do, but through the gift of God. And so the idea of blaming the Jews, and look, to be clear, the precise people who drove the nails in Jesus's wrists and feet were the Romans. I don't see anyone being angry at the Italians. They happened to be who was in charge of the government at the time that Jesus was crucified, but it was Pontius Pilate who gave the order. And so I will say the phrase, look, Christ is king, and to be honest, that was not a phrase I grew up with in church, and I was thinking about it the other day. You know, we would say things like Jesus loves you, Jesus saves. That tended to be more
King of Kings.
Christ is king is a phrase that seems to have originated online, and it's some of kind of the Groyper folks that it almost sort of invokes images of the crusade, that in the name of Jesus we will conquer everyone else in a way that I don't think is right or biblical.
Which
every knee will bow.
Yes. Last question, real quick, if that's okay.
Well,
please.
I don't want to miss the question you asked right before,
Okay.
which is you asked about replacement theology.
Oh, yes, please.
And this is something Tucker and others are pushing. And this is, look, I think this is a heresy. It is a notion that the promises in the Bible that God makes to Israel are no longer valid. The Jews are no longer God's chosen people. And instead, replacement theology argues that the Christian church has replaced Israel and the Jews as God's chosen people, and all of the promises in the Old Testament are now invalid.
So God breaks his promises, apparently.
Yeah. And that, I think that is...
Wilhelm Mate sent $5 on Rumble.
Thank you, Wilhelm.
Goofy enough, these people somehow know more about the Bible than the Christ cucks that never read their Bible. Face with diagonal mouth emoji.
Oh, of course they do. And if they actually got in debates with this, they would lose. Also,
100%. Yeah, that's what I've been saying with my Paul post the other day, because I've been arguing with all these Christians. I tell them, go argue with your churches, because this is what happens. None of them can stick to the text and actually argue the points. None of them can answer okay, who is Paul materially giving? Who are you giving material blessings to in Romans 9-11? Other than Jews as an ethnic group, because they as an ethnic group is how you got the Gospels. They have no answer for that. There's no way in that line where it says, says Israel, it's talking about ethnic Israel, that it's talking about the church there when it's talking about Israel. And these guys, they don't even read it. They don't know anything about it. And they just would lose in every single theological debate. So I've said this before, but if right now we snapped our fingers, boom, and made all the Christians the most based e-Crusader version that any of them would possibly could imagine, we made every single Christian like that in the entire world, it would only be within generations that this would all happen again, that it would that supersessionism would fall out of favor, that replacement theology would fall out of favor, because the text itself doesn't support it, guys. That's why the more familiar with the text they are, the more that becomes a heresy.
Yeah, they've already lost the debate. And what? Because of a couple Schofield footnotes was all it took to overcome, God's clear message and his plan for his church on earth.
Well,
good luck, Jake Shields or Joel Webbin or any of these e-crusaders trying to go debate some actual preacher or priest or pastor on if Jesus is Jewish or not. You'll be laughed out of. They won't even debate you. You'll be laughed out of there. You'd lose. You'd lose, and it wouldn't even be close. But you think this is the path forward?
Well, Augustine was talking about witness people all the way back in the day. Like, this is so stupid. This has been like a doctrine for a very long time. This has been a problem for a very long time. You can't just remove the book of Romans and Galatians and Corinthians from the text or from the Bible.
Promises, apparently.
Yeah. And that, I think that is absolutely wrong. If God breaks his promises to the people of Israel, that suggests that God could break his promises to Christians as well. And I don't believe God breaks his promises.
I don't believe God makes promises, actually. Okay, Shabbos Kestenbaum sees about Fuentes, Nico, and Myron at the anti-Semitism.
Don't want to get in trouble. And refusing to engage with individuals like Nick Fuentes or Sneeko or Myron Gaines, who believe that we should rape women whom we disagree with, who believe that all blacks must be imprisoned, who believe that all Mexicans, including American citizens, should be deported, who believe that Jews need to go back to the gas chambers, while they also don't believe that gas chambers existed, but that's a conversation for another time. Refusing to engage with those individuals is engaging in common sense. And again, I'll keep repeating this. If we pretend that is...
You see, this is a point, too, with what we always say. Optics and saying all these jokes and ironic stuff and sensational, hyperbolic things. It's all used against you. Now they get to go up there and go, oh, they believe all this crazy shit. And then you lose. You look like a joke. You look unserious.
It's not true. We will lose elections. So going back to the question you asked earlier, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to get in trouble. But if you are planning on running for president in 2028 and you are part of the Trump administration right now and you want to, I didn't say anyone's name, but you want to sort of nod and wink to this terminally online Groyper base, RJC has done a tremendous job the last year or two bringing Democrats, lifelong Democrats like myself, into the Republican Party and into the conservative movement because we saw firsthand how the Democratic Party gave hugs to Mahmoud Khalil and gave middle fingers to American Jews. So we left the Democratic Party to come here. And if our nominee is someone who, as I said, is winking to that online space, then we will lose elections. And quite frankly, we will deserve to lose elections.
Threatening JD Vance. That's funny. They have
another one at the
narrative that JD Vance is like trying to placate the Groypers.
And Tucker. RJC's Norm Coleman also talking about bad actors like Nick, Candace, and Tucker.
Through the language of geopolitics, as conservatives, as Republicans, we have an obligation, not a suggestion, not a courtesy, an obligation to confront anti-Semitic bad actors when they appear on our side of the political aisle. We must not look the other way because it's uncomfortable. We cannot stay silent because the offender may have a large platform or a loyal following. The integrity of conservatism demands more from us. Right now, some of the most prominent polemicists trafficking in this ancient hatred on the right are Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. These are not fringe figures whispering in dark corners. They have large megaphones. They reach audiences of millions, and they have chosen to use that reach to launder conspiratorial thinking about the Jews through the language of geopolitics and grievance. We cannot ignore a younger contingent rising beneath them, figures like Nick Fuentes and James Fishbach in Florida, who bring a different style to the same ugly substance. These are provocateurs who revel in transgression. You heard the comment for the titillation of transgression. They are drawn to taboos precisely because breaking them generates attention. And there is no taboo they are more thrilling to test than the one against Jew hatred. They dress it up in irony. They hide behind humor. They wear a jester's cap where others once wore a different kind of uniform. But let us be perfectly clear. A Jew hater is a jester cap, and a jester cap is still a Jew hater.
A jester cap?
And we will not be fooled by that costume.
He's trying to sound like JFK. That's funny. Okay. Head of Trump's Department of Justice Anti-Semitism Task Force, Leo Terrell, at the conference.
Always going to fight. And the phone calls are 24/7. Leo, you're making a mistake. You're out there too much. You're going to pay the price of fighting anti-Semitism. You're going to pay the price professionally, monetarily. You need to stop fighting this as aggressively as you are.
I don't believe this for 1 second. Yeah, dude, working for the Jews and fighting anti-Semitism totally ruins your career in politics. Right, guys? So brave. Stunning and brave.
It's going to cost you. I got news for those people. I'm willing to pay the price because I'm never going to shut up. I'm always going to fight anti-Semitism.
They're not even listening.
I'm always going to do it. Because
laughing.
The fundamental nature of this country requires all Americans to make sure that we can all enjoy these freedoms. And the phone calls are 24/7.
Are we free in America to not be criticized, to impede on other people's First Amendment or opinions to criticize? That's freedom. Freedom is you're not allowed to say anything about the Jews. That's freedom in America.
That's pretty much how they feel. Yeah, that's how they feel about this.
Okay, we're going to skip this Edomite idiot. Tucker Carlson gets epically community noted. He says they hate Russia because it's going to be the only white country. He gets community noted.
My main instinct is that the lesson of World War II for some people was white Christian countries are a threat to the world.
100%. Post-war consensus, yes.
And that's just not a fact, actually, at all. It's why they hate Russia. Yeah. It's probably going to be the only majority white Christian country in the world soon. And they hate it. That is why they hate it, by the way. Let's just stop lying about it. That's why they hate it. My main instinct is that
nothing to do with invading Ukraine, another Christian country, or subverting with active measures and meddling in our politics and having their Kremlin Vatnik talking points, disrupting and causing chaos in our discourse. No, it's because they're Christian. Christian persecution. And also, Russia has Europe's fastest growing Muslim population, 19% and estimated to be 30 to 50% by 2050. Europe has less Muslims than Russia.
Oh, for sure they do. Oh, I gotta watch that stuff. I forgot that I was gonna watch that today.
This one?
Last night.
Weinstein?
Yeah.
The danger.
I haven't seen it yet either. They're talking about, was the pager a threat from Netanyahu, which I think it is a subtle threat, actually.
The golden pager that was given to President Trump strikes me as another Rorschach test, just like Bibi's statement after Charlie Kirk's murder. I mean, obviously, the pager operation is no joke.
He talks so slow. 2x this fool.
I understand the predicament that Israel is in, and I don't underrate the danger of being in the neighborhood that Israel is in, the danger of the dynamics of the region being about lineage versus lineage violence, and therefore I can have my, high-minded Western view of their predicament, but I don't understand what it is like to live under threat from people who truly want to.
Yeah, Hezbollah is, determined to crush Israel. It's fact.
Right. So I get it, and I don't think I think I'm an adult when it comes to understanding what one has to do to survive under such circumstances. On the other hand, what am I to make of the fact that you have these exploding pagers used to kill terrorists? Obviously, that's not the only people who were killed, but nonetheless, that was their purpose.
Is he also going to say that Netanyahu has a boxed up syringe from COVID also in his office?
And then one is delivered to Trump. You can read it in two totally different ways, right? The normal way to read it is that this was maybe a tasteless celebration of a successful operation and yada, yada, yada. On the other hand, it can obviously be read as a threat. And it's hard for me to imagine. I can imagine the meeting in which somebody says, hey, maybe we should send President Trump a golden pager after our successful operation. Somebody should immediately shoot that idea down and say, no, we can't do that because it could be read in another way, right?
Right.
Anyway, as we are struggling to understand what is taking place in our country, why
Yeah, how would they not know that everybody is going to think that's a threat?
See that way too.
you do.
I do.
Well, you're not making me feel better.
I mean, right. Yeah. What was that?
But they also gave one to Fetterman too, though. They're not threatening Fetterman. Fetterman's already a big shill.
Yeah. It's crazy how they're going through here it is. The Amalek stuff too. He just made a post and he's referencing Amalek. So like Amalek is becoming like a household word at this point.
Household
How funny
word,
would it be if Amalek becomes the word of the year or something like that?
We're getting more Amalek, like your name entails.
Yeah.
In the first hours after this, when the prime minister of Israel, in his, I think, first remarks on the new war with Iran, said two things. One, I've been waiting for this for 40 years. This is part of a pre-existing plan, totally disconnected from Iran's modern nuclear program, which was not in the same condition 40 years ago. If you've been thinking about something for 40 years, you're probably not describing an imminent threat. Hard to be imminent for 40 years. This is an effort to expand the territory and the influence of Israel in the Middle East. Of course, again, not an attack on Israel, it's just a fact. That's the first thing he said, revealing his motive, just saying it out loud. One wonderful thing about Israelis is, unlike Americans, they're less circumspect. Just kind of say it. And the second thing he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's about right, he said in today's Torah portion, we read about the Amalekites, about Amalek. And that would be a direct reference to 1 Samuel 15, in which God commands the Israelites to kill the Amalekites, all of them, every single one of them, to commit genocide against Amalek. The men, the women, the children, the infants, is almost verbatim quote, and the animals. The camels and the sheep. All of them. Kill them all. Wipe them off the face of the earth. In fact, God punishes the Israelites for not following his instructions and sparing some. So whatever you think of that, whether it's your theology or not, your religion or not, it almost doesn't matter. In a geopolitical context, no one has talked that way in 80 years. No national leader has stood on camera and said, our goal is genocide. And not like semi-modern Nerf genocide, where you kill a lot of people, make the rest of them leave, but actual genocide, where you kill everybody and their children, quote, and their infants and their animals. You erase any evidence they ever
John.
Period. Sent $20. Amalek is the man. A bit too smart, but still the champ.
Totally true.
Guys.
I am a Spurgy guy. Yeah. That's
Dude, if you're Spurgy, I'm Spurgy.
Yeah, you're Spurgy too. It's okay. Well, that's part of it. If we weren't Spurgy, then we wouldn't be able to do this.
We wouldn't care.
1 Samuel 15.
Yeah, we would just be outside like playing baseball or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Spurgy to not Spurg, actually.
And it is interesting, and it's of course part of Judaism. It's part of Christianity.
Adam Greenspurg.
So it's not an attack on the verse, but to invoke that verse in the middle of a hot war and respond to it by saying, this is what we're doing today. Amalek is Iran, is to call for genocide against your opponent.
Okay. There's Carrie Bowler. Officially canceled. Remember, she was like, Trump hasn't told me I'm kicked off. This other guy's trying to do it. Well, Trump kicked her off now, too. And she frames it as, Trump officially removes me from the Religious Liberty Commission for exercising my religious liberty. What, to say that they killed God and they're cursed? And that they can't have a state because it's satanic and the Antichrist and you're the true Israel and you have the covenant now? Like, I don't think anybody should have protection for religious liberty. What does that mean? We can't criticize you? What does that mean? You're allowed to have any religious view about us and do anything according to religion, and if we say anything about it, we're impeding on your liberty? Fuck that. Need more spurging. Yeah, it's her freedom. Anyway, again, it failed. Failed, just like she took the L. Now she took the L even harder. A bunch of people
like a whole letter writing campaign to get her out. It's not just that people are saying like, oh, it's Jews that kicked her out. Oh, they're all mad because she's not anti-Zionist. No. What happened is all of the Catholic journals and blogs and everything like that. She was the big news in Catholicism of the day.
Professor Jang sent $5. Shvist is king. You don't believe in Shvist? You are Illuminati.
Illuminati? I love Dugan. That's good. Thank you, Professor Zhang. I think that's the real professor.
Oh, that's for sure him. But she was getting heat from the Catholics. All of the Catholics were weighing in. making videos on YouTube, writing in their little journals, writing in all their articles. Oh, how this is so bad, countering her every argument, showing that what she's saying is not compatible with Catholic teaching, right? So what they were doing is they literally were organizing letter writing campaigns. And then she complains, oh, look, this guy's trying to get me kicked out. That guy's getting me kicked out. It's because of all the pressure that she got from the Christians. Like, to what degree she was kicked out by Jews, it was the Jews were using the Christians to do it. The reason that they kicked her out was because of that.
Yeah, actual Catholics, not like her who learned from memes and the internet and Candace Owens that converted 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. The reason that these people are acting like this is because they actually believe what she was saying is blasphemy in Catholicism, and that the entire point of being on that board was to what? Oh, to represent Christians, to represent Catholics. Well, if you're going to go up there and pretend like you're representing them when they don't agree with what you're saying, you're going to get like pressure. You're going to get kicked off. That's what I mean.
And what do we always say? As soon as, remember the day that I watched her coverage, I said, oh, she's playing the heel. She's taking the L. Again, common Christian L, and then now the L's just keep stacking up. It doesn't work. Good luck. Yeah, her and Fuentes and E. Michael Jones, they're going to overpower and take over the Catholic Church. Dave Riley is going to overturn Vatican II any day now. It's never happening. Never, ever, ever.
Well,
guaranteed.
Just retweeted a seething about a see-through it all clip.
Yeah,
the one that you just responded to. Yeah, he's seething about it and he's lying in his clip, like or his response. He's just lying, of course.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what E. Michael Jones does.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's saying that Nostra Aetate does not it doesn't it's not against supersessionism. He says.
Claiming it rejects replacement theology. We're going to have to cover these tomorrow. I have a bunch of this PragerU interviewing Christian clips. She just had John Hagee on. She's bringing on all the real Christians to call these e-crusaders satanic, false Christians and pagans, right? That's what they do. Well, we're going to do that one tomorrow, though, because we got a few from her. I wanted to cover this, and then we'll wrap here. Israeli real estate brokers who were mentioned in the Epstein files and have direct links to Kushner have been convicted of sex trafficking. Oran Elon and Tal Alexander found guilty on all 10 charges. Victims were drugged, transported across state lines before being physically restrained and sexually assaulted. Thomas Massey found the brothers in the Epstein files while the DOJ had redacted their last name. They're now going to jail.
3 wealthy brothers, including 2 of New York's top real estate brokers, were found guilty of sex trafficking charges on Monday. Oren, Tal, and Elon Alexander all faced allegations they lured women and girls to exclusive parties where they drugged and raped them. The brothers had each pleaded not guilty to all charges in an indictment alleging trafficking and other criminal conduct related to 7 victims. Over the course of a 6-week trial in Manhattan federal court...
Dude, what's the deal? These guys are like, not bad-looking, young guys, rich. They can't just get girls to hook up with them without drugging them and raping them? What the hell?
7 victims. Over the course of a 6-week trial in
just like
federal court,
evil. They could get it anyway. They're just...
that one or more of the brothers sexually abused them. In his closing argument on March 3rd, prosecutor Andrew Jones said the brothers masqueraded as party boys, but really were predators. Defense lawyers acknowledged that the brothers had discussed sex among themselves in crass terms. However, they argued the sexual encounters at issue were consensual. Oren and Tal Alexander co-founded the luxury real estate brokerage Official, while brother Elon was an executive at a private security company. An attorney for Elon Alexander said they disagreed with the jury's verdict and planned to appeal.
Psycho vibes.
Oren and Tal did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Weird when like rich, young, decent-looking guys are preying on girls and drugging them and raping them. But they're Kushner's buddies, apparently. WikiLeaks has a post on it, too. Their links to Trump world extended beyond parties. Oh, he was at the Hanukkah White House party. He was at the 2020 Trump White House Hanukkah celebration. And again,
That's not super
does this mean they're satanic ball worshipping child rapists? That because people will, that's kind of what people are trying to portray this as, I'm sure. Or maybe just there's no God and people just do degenerate evil things. And it doesn't have anything to do with Satanism. Is that ever a possibility? Can we just attribute bad things and malice to people instead of some supposed Satan worship? Ha ha ha. All right. I just saw something in the chat. I'll tell you later. All right,
I posted one more clip that you should go. You should go before we head out, though. It's the turkey thing.
Oh, nice. Okay. The new Amalek mix.
Turkey.
No, this is just him talking about.
Oh, I played this the other day.
Oh, you did play it? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I just wanted to say
yeah.
the turkey thing before we head out. That's basically. I've been watching a lot of these rabbi clips the last couple of days as to see what their predictions are and what they're saying about the war in Iran, and almost every single one of them will make offhand comments saying things like, "Oh, and you know who's next? You know who's next? Turkey. Oh, you know who's next? Erdogan." And it seems like there's going to be some sort of shift since Iran has basically done very little to them, that there's going to be some sort of shift towards Turkey. And they're saying Erdogan's response to 10/7 was anti-Semitic. That's what they're citing. And they're essentially saying that, oh, he's an Islamist and all these other ideas. And the thing about that's crazy is Turkey is in NATO. Okay. So if they were to start something like what we're seeing with Iran, with Turkey, that will tear NATO apart at the seams because of the nature of that whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I would say people should just keep their eye out, that this shift to Turkey prediction. And like I said to you earlier, I'm just going to keep clipping them up saying that, and then I'll add it all together, because mostly what it is, it's offhand comments. It's not like the point of my clips that I'm finding. So but that is what it seems to be they're doing. And the politicians inside Israel are doing the same thing on the left and right. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I played this. He basically just says Turkey's the new Iran. They're anti-Semitic. We got to go to war with them next.
Threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence.
I will, 10 baby mamas, I will watch. I have that bookmark Sneeko Noah Hyde debate.
Everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran.
Something.
Erdogan is sophisticated.
They don't seem too excited about Turkey as the new Iran. They're like, what,
Well,
already?
They all know what I just said. They're like, oh, wow, you're really going to say that out loud? Because that is, I don't know, that's fucked.
Yep. Okay, well, thank you, Amalek, for joining. Hope you guys all appreciated the show. Thank you all for the support. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, clip the show. I will be back tomorrow, same time. Still have a bunch of stuff to cover I didn't get into today. A whole nother thing of tabs. But we will get caught up. Got all this stuff to cover some more still. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Thank you all for watching, and take care. Go to the gym, eat some beef jerky, hail the old gods, and down with Yahweh. No noise on the out.